All right. Good morning, warriors. We were discussing about what laws, what tax, why tax, who can levy tax. Yes, that is the discussion we ended with yesterday class. We tried to understand who can levy taxes. We came and said that normally the authority to levy a tax is given under something called as Constitution of India. The Constitution of India will come and decide as to who can levy a tax, and Constitution of India gives and collects power only from authority of law. So only an authority of law can levy or collect taxes when it comes to India. Anywhere else, you have to look at their constitutions in order to make sense out of things. Yes or no? Yes, this is what we ended our discussion yesterday. Let's take back our article once again and see what does the article say before we jump into the next things. Yes, it says article number 265 of the Constitution provides that no tax shall be levied or collected except by an authority of law. Yes, now I notice a line very carefully. It says no tax shall be levied or collected except by an authority of law. My question to you is like this: had one of the two words not been there, would the line still make sense? Would the line still make sense? Read the line once again. Assuming I say the wordings, no tax shall be levied except by an authority of law. Is the meaning still understood? Yes. Second, I come and say no tax shall be collected except by an authority of law. Is the meaning still understood? Yes. Still we have both the words. Something seems wrong. Yes. Which means something about that will not make sense if you don't have both the words. What is that will not make sense? What if I just put levied? Will the intention not be served? It will still be served. What if I put only collected? Will the intention not be served? It will still be served. Then why are we spending so much time on this? Why are exactly we having two words on this? Should be a reason. Let's think about it once again. Assuming that I put the line as no tax shall be levied except by an authority of law. What power are you giving them? To levy the tax. So Modi Sarkar comes and says, starting tomorrow you have to pay 40% tax to me. You have to pay 40% tax to me. You say, good job. 40% tax. I will pay you 0. I'll pay you. Why? I'm coming and saying, sir, you have the power to levy. Don't have the power to. You go levy. You put 100 also, I don't care. I will not pay you single rupee because I don't think you have the power to collect. If you don't have the power to collect, I don't have the responsibility to pay. Agreed. Intention got defeated. Yes. Think the other way around. They come and say no tax can be collected except by an authority of law. Now you are giving them powers too. Modi Sarkar comes to you one day and he comes and says 40% tax. He stands on your door, comes and says pay me 40 rupees. You give him 1 rupee. He's like, I'm not a beggar, I'm asking you for tax, give me. You say, no sir, this is what you deserve. He says, no, I said 40, no. And I'm asking a simple question. Who gave you the power to say 40? Yes or no? You only have the power to. Don't have the power to. If you don't have the power, where is the question coming of 40? You said 100 also. I will pay only 1 rupee to you because for me, my power to levy is only 1. I am the government. And my government comes and says, I will only give 1 rupee to you. You have a problem, go find it out somewhere else. I don't have the authority to give you something because you are not authorized to get that money from me. Agreed? Intention is one of the two words will also make sense, but still you need both the words because otherwise you will not be able to solve the matter in hand. Yes or no? Yes. Laws are drafted that way. You cannot leave an open-ended law. If you leave an open-ended law, people will play around things. That is what we discussed in yesterday's class in detail. Yes, the role of a CA is there only. To find out what is missed out and then to make sense out of things which can help you do things in your favor. Yes, that is why I told you today's class we are going to draft laws. Yes, I'm going to tell you what kind of problems will create if you don't be clear on what you're talking about. Yes, that's today's class. Today's fun class is going to be all that. You're going to draft a law with me. In the sense that you will draft the law, I will write the law. And then I as a CA will come and object to whatever you have come and said and tell you what is wrong about your law. Yes, that is when you will realize what exactly are you reading right now. And that is when you will realize how difficult it is to create one single law. Yes, that is when you will start appreciating why company law, why LLP law, why income tax law, why some other law, etc. and all. Okay, we will do that today. maybe another half an hour. We'll start that thing. Yes. Before that, let's complete a few things. We already discussed about certain items where we came and said, yes, tax can be levied only by an authority of law or collected also by an authority of. If you want to create a tax, you need to first understand whether who should have the powers to do it. It can either be the union list or the state list or the income tax is sitting under union list. Agriculture income tax is sitting under GST is sitting under concurrent list. Clear with the background? Yes. Now we'll follow up and get into more specifics. We started with law, then we started with tax. Now we still discussed about tax only. Now we are getting into two specifics of tax, which are two items. One is direct tax, one is indirect tax. Yes. Questions to you are like this. Rahul, how do you classify some item looking at it as direct tax or indirect tax? I give you one thing and I tell me whether it is direct or indirect. How do you classify it? What is your underlying assumption? GST is how? You're not? What is directly paying? Supplier, huh? Okay, so if you are paying it to the supplier and supplier is paying to the government, that is called as indirect tax. Okay. Have you heard about this thing called customs duty? What happens in customs duty? Okay, customs duty is basically paying duty on an import. You bought a product, you imported a product. On this product, government is saying pay me customs duty. Direct tax, indirect tax. Indirect tax, who's paying? Who bought? Where is the supplier? Did you go and ask the foreign person to pay the tax? Whom did paid? You paid. How is custom duty indirect tax then? Something is wrong. Anything else? How did you decide whether GST is a direct tax or indirect tax? Come again. Everyone has to pay direct tax, okay?
Well, indirect tax is like if I choose to buy a pen and I have to pay
If I choose not to earn income, will I pay income tax? If I choose not to earn income, will I pay income tax? Choice is there both the places. That's one comedy which comes in the market, you know. What is the best way to save taxes? Stop earning. Be poor, no one will ask you for tax. Simplest way. Yes. Or you can go to a CA and CA will reduce taxes. Either way works. Choice is there both the places. If you buy, you have to pay GST. If you earn, you have to pay income tax. What is the underlying assumption? How did you decide the GST? Okay, income tax is what? Direct tax. அது மட்டும் கிளாரிட்டி இருக்குல்ல? Why? என்ன assumption இருக்கு? ராகுல் சொன்னதுனால ஆச்சா இல்ல இருக்கு ஏதோ பேசிஸ் இருக்கு? One second.
Indirect tax is based on goods and services. Direct tax is based on one's own income. So direct tax is based on the person's thing. If you earn a lot, you get more taxes depending on the bracket. So it depends on the wealth too. Direct taxes there is, but then the GST is levied the same way for all of them.
Okay, progressive, regressive, yes, I understand, but is that an underlying assumption? Do you classify something because that you will pay more tax, it is direct tax, and if you pay less tax, it is indirect tax? So I don't think that's an underlying assumption. My question is, if you look at something, how do you decide whether it's direct or indirect? What is general, what is specific? This na the what, that na what? Again, you're trying to be progressive and regressive here. So my question is, do you look at something just because it is progressive and regressive? Do you classify something as direct and indirect because it is progressive and regressive? Not really. Not that I know of, at least. So you cannot classify something. See, that it's like saying what is a company and what is the features of a company. Yes, direct tax being regressive and progressive is a feature. It's not direct tax, right? I'm trying to understand why is something called as direct tax. You get my facts? Yes. I'm not talking about features. I'm talking about background. It was only indirect taxes on goods and service. Okay.
Indirect tax is based on goods and services. We go for the income where of one's own person.
So can I put it this way to you? Income tax is a direct tax is when a tax is levied on income. And indirect tax is a tax which is levied on expense. Am I right? Fairly? Yes, I know you're telling me goods and services, but at the end of the day, goods and services are your expense only. Whether you call it as revenue expense or capital expense, it doesn't make a difference. At the end of the day, the logic is the same. Yes or no? Yes. My underlying assumption would be that. That if I look at some tax, I should be able to comment whether it's a tax on income or a tax on. If it's a tax on income, then it is. If it's a tax on expense, it is. Makes sense. This makes more sense because customs duty, it's a tax on your expense, the one which you bought. Income tax is a tax on your income. Yes, that is why I gave you some examples in the past. Yesterday and all we discussed about gift tax. Now gift tax is a direct tax or indirect tax? Gift tax is a direct tax or indirect tax? Why? It's an income which you got. Gift is an income to you. You did not pay anything. Yes or no? You will not go and tell the gifter that you pay the tax also, you give me gift also. That is very stupid. Ultimately that is what happens, but anyway. Point is, it's an income for you. So it's a direct tax. It's a direct tax. Yes or no? Excise duty is. Earlier it was excise duty. Now it became GST. So the excise was something which is a payment which you made on the goods. Therefore it is indirect taxes. Yes or no? Yes. My primary assumption would be that. My primary assumption is I would look at what are you paying against. Are you paying against income or are you paying against expense? If you're paying against income, it is direct. If you're paying against expense, it is. Then I will come to features. Yes, one of the features why she rightly said is progressive and regressive. What is progressive, Rahul? The more the income, the more the tax. The more the income, the more the tax. Apo, what is regressive? The lower the income or the more the tax, correct? Huh? You will come and say you earn lesser, you will pay more. Agreed? That is what is progressive na, higher the income, higher the tax. Apo regressive na, lower the income, higher the tax. Correct? No? Correct? No? So you will go and tell a GST, you will go and tell a poor person, don't pay income tax but pay GST. You pay more GST than what Ambani is paying. Correct? No? Correct? No? No. Regressive does not simply mean that lower the income, higher the tax. Regressive means regardless of the income, same the tax. Regardless of the income, same the tax. Ask yourself a simple question. Today I am teaching you right now. Maybe I am earning 1 lakh, 2 lakh rupees. My income tax will be, let's say, 5%. Ambani is earning 5 crore rupees. Will he pay the same 5%? He will pay higher. That is progressive. The higher the income, the higher the tax. But at the same time, Rahul is also wishing that Rahul wants to buy iPhone 15 Pro Max. Ambani is also wishing that Ambani wants to buy iPhone 15 Pro Max. Both will pay same GST. Yes? Or will they come and say, no, because Ambani is earning more, he will pay more GST. It will happen such that Rahul will pay same GST as Ambani, even though Rahul is earning poor income than Ambani. Correct? Not correct? Correct. In that sense, what is happening? Regardless of my income, my GST remains the same, and therefore it is called as regressive. Agreed? Yes. Tell me which one of the two widens the equality gap. Indirect tax, obviously. Yes. Because you're going to pay the same tax, whereas your incomes are different. In which case, what will happen? Your income will even fall, and his income will keep falling. Automatically, what will happen? The gap will still widen. When it comes to income tax, what will happen? He has higher income, I have lower income. I will pay lower tax. He will pay higher tax. We'll almost come. I'm not saying we'll actually come same, but we will almost come to that position. Which means the gap reduces when it comes to direct taxes. The gap increases when it comes to. That is what is called as progressive and regressive. Makes sense now? Hello? Yes. Now you do have this one other thing where they come and say shifting of burden and all those things. I have never understood it. Did you understand it ever? Either they'll come and say shifting of burden of tax cannot happen in indirect tax. Cannot happen in direct tax, can happen in indirect tax. Do you understand what are they trying to say? Any understand? Any idea?
To like only it's either that our ultimate consumer that's paying the GST, or we can keep set offs and like
We'll keep set offs.
which means you you aren't bearing the burden already.
Sure about that? Are you absolutely sure? Or have you read it? That's what I'm asking. Are you sure or have you read it? Yes, sure. Okay. I'm going to give you an example. Tell me what is happening. Okay. Imagine an example where Rahul is a part of Pragya. I am, but there's nothing to imagine. Point is, assume that Rahul is a part of Pragya. Yes. Now it has so happened that Pragya has reached out to you and Pragya has come and said, since you're joining inter classes, you have to pay me how much? 53, yeah? Sorry, okay. So Pragya has collected 53,000 rupees from you. Income for Pragya, not an income for Pragya. Income for Pragya. Now, assuming the tax rate on Pragya is 10%. I'm making it very clear, assuming. This is not the rate. Assuming the tax rate on Pragya is 10%. How much will Pragya pay? But will Pragya pay 5,300? No, because Pragya will come and say, see, I'm receiving 53,000 from students, but I also need to pay my faculties. Yes, hypothetical number, don't sit and calculate. Hypothetical number, assuming Rahul comes and tells Pragya that if you are earning 53,000 from students, 8,000 comes to me. I am telling hypothetical number. இங்க உட்காந்துட்டு Rahul students are 70 students, 8,000 into 70, Rahul இவ்வளோ earn பண்றாரு, nothing. Okay, hypothetical numbers. We don't get paid by the profit sharing, we get paid by ours, so it never gets computed. Point is, assuming 8,000 is what Rahul is asking. Assuming 8,000 is what Rahul is asking. What will happen? What will happen? Pragya will come and say, okay, I have to pay 8,000 to Rahul. Therefore, my income is now 45,000. So now Pragya will pay tax on 45,000, which is Rahul will pay tax on same. Yes or no? What happened? What happened? 53,000 worth of tax, 5,300 worth of tax. Initially was supposed to be paid by, ended up being paid by, both. Bird and shift acha illiya? Yes, madam. Direct tax, indirect tax. Direct tax, na? That's what. Bird and shift acha illiya? Apro eppadi? இன்டைரக்ட் டாக்ஸ்ல தான் பேர்டன் ஷிஃப்ட் ஆகணும். இது ஆச்சே, அதான் சொல்றேன். நான் தான் காமிச்சேனே, இப்போ காமிக்கலையா? ஏமா ராமாயண் முடிச்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் ராம் யாருன்னு கேட்டான். Is the burden getting shifted? Yes. Technically, I was supposed to pay 53,000. I diverted my income to someone else and I am paying lower taxes right now. Is my burden shifted? Why? Adanda, so I was supposed to pay 5,300 initially. Expense pay பண்ணதால 5,000 ஆச்சு. How does it matter? Are you concerned about your income or are you concerned about your tax? Same thing in GST, no? I'll give you an example in GST. Tell me what is the difference, okay? In GST, same thing is happening. What is happening is Pragya is buying something. For 53,000 rupees. What will Pragya do? Pay GST along with it. Yes, hypothetical number, assuming GST is also 10%. How much Pragya should pay? 5,300. So Pragya bought something for 53,000, was supposed to pay 5,300 on this. 1 second, Mabhashmi. Yes, Pragya was supposed to pay 5,300 on this. Now Pragya decided that I should not keep the whole 53,000 worth of product. Let me give 8,000 worth of product to Rahul. What will happen? Pragya will make a sale of 8,000 rupees and tell Rahul that Rahul, I am making a sale of 8,000 to you. You also pay GST on that to me. So Rahul will end up paying 8,800 totally. Yes or no? Yes. So what is happening is technically Pragya paid 53,000 plus 5,300 to the first person. Then Pragya went to Rahul and came and said, pay me 8,000 plus 800. Totally Rahul paid 8,800. Rahul paid a tax of 800. Pragya will pay tax of not 5,300. Pragya will come and say, see, I paid 5,300 to him. Yes or no? I paid 5,300 to him. I got an 800. This 800 will be called as ITC, input tax credit. So which means Pragya will end up paying net of only 4500 மேலே கீழே என்ன டிஃப்ரென்ஸ் இருக்கு காமி? சொல்ல பார்ப்போம். The only difference I can notice is that in direct taxes I pay tax on income. Here indirect taxes I pay tax on. அது தவிர burden shift ஆச்சா இல்லையா? ஆச்சே. அங்கேயோ 800 அவங்க தான் பே பண்ணா, இங்கேயோ 800 அவங்க தான் பே பண்ணா. என்ன ஷேர் பண்ண? அங்கேயும் அப்படி தான் பண்ணேன். ரெண்டு இடத்துல ஷேர் தானே ஆச்சு. ஆகலையே, நான் 800 தானே ட்ரான்ஸ்ஃபர் பண்ணேன். See, understand ma, in indirect tax also what did you say? I will only pay indirect tax on consumption. How much did I give him? 8000. How much GST is going to pay on? 8000. மிச்ச ஐட்டம் நான் என்ன பண்ணேன்? நான் தான் யூஸ் பண்ணேன். அதனால நான் வச்சிருக்கேன். See, when you bought products worth 53,000, did you come and tell him that I want to use the whole 53,000 as further sale? You told what? I want to only sell 8,000 rupees. Correct? No. Pragya can also do the same thing. No, direct tax le, Pragya can come and say 53,000 what I receive from students fully will go to Rahul. What will happen then? Pragya will pay zero tax, Rahul will pay full tax. Adena ache. It depends on how much you're transferring. In that you transferred 8,000 of income. Here you're transferring 8,000 of goods. All of the difference. The only difference. Sorry, ma. Go ahead.
Can I try that?
Yeah, go ahead. You want to dispute this, sir?
Yes, sir. So the thing is, we have to levy tax on income, but here you're levying tax on revenue, the 53,000.
I'm paying tax on income only.
Yes, sir. So the after deducting salary,
Correct.
you have 45,000, right?
Yes.
So you pay tax on the difference. So there are, sir, we get 8,000, and from the we pay 800.
Hmm.
So here the transfer of the shift of burden is not happening, right?
It is, no. See, I'll give you. My thought is very simple. What you're saying is right. My question is in option number 1. You're telling you're paying tax on income, correct? In option number 2 also, what are you doing? You're paying tax on net expense only, no. In option number 2, what are you doing? You're buying goods of 53,000. You're selling goods of 8,000, which means you're technically paying GST only on 45. Adana nee pay pandra. So there is no difference technically. In income also you're saying you're paying tax on net income. In expense also you're saying you're paying tax on net expense. Agreed? Yes, I know there will be a significant amount of difference when the rate of tax changes. That's a different story. But assuming everything is standard and par, 10 is also in indirect, 10 is also in direct. Do you see a difference happening between both? I don't personally see. Correct? No. The only difference which I see is மேலே it was income, கீழே it was expense. அதை தவிர என்ன difference இருக்கா? பார்க்கறதுக்கு தெரியுதா? எனக்கு தெரியலையே. Yes, Prashni.
Yes, sir.
Convinced? I can convince people, that's okay. It may be wrong, but I will convince people. See, point is, in ICI study material, yes, they do come and say that GST lets you shift burden. GST lets you shift burden, but in all practical angle, if you notice like this, there is no shifting of burdens happening. Yes, because both the people are shifting burdens. As long as you can claim something as an expense, it is enough for you to shift your burden. It is enough for you to shift your burden. Agreed, not agreed? Yes. So I personally, if you come and ask me, my personal opinion is that when it comes to direct tax and indirect tax, there is only two differences. Difference number 1 is that when it comes to direct taxes, it is on income. Indirect tax is on. And second difference is that indirect tax is progressive, indirect tax is regressive. அது தவிர shifting of burden bookல இருக்கு, logically not right. Logically not right. That is what my personal opinion is. Yes. If you can dispute it, tell me what is wrong in this computation. I don't know. எனக்கு பார்க்கும்போது இந்த கம்ப்யூட்டேஷனில் எதுவுமே தப்பா இல்லை. I cannot see a difference per se. Maybe yes, you may come and say, Rahul, prove 1 is equal to 2 அந்த மேத்ஸ் எல்லாம் நீங்கள் பண்ணுவீங்களா, அந்த மாதிரி சினாரியோ மட்டும் போட்டு பாருங்க. I don't think I have made any mistakes per se in the computational mechanism. If you feel like you have a challenge, feel free, go home, try all ABC plus analysis and all and give me back. எனக்கு தெரிஞ்ச வரைக்கும் there is no problem here. Yes, but yes, from exam perspective, if they come and ask you who can shift a burden, answer is indirect taxes. Who can shift burden? Answer is indirect taxes. Exam perspective alone. Yes, market perspective, both can shift burdens. Both can shift burdens. That is what our job is at the end of the day. If you cannot shift a burden, you will always come and say higher the income, higher the tax. So you cannot reduce taxes for your clients. The only way you can reduce tax for client is by coming and shifting your burden. And how will you shift burden? By doing more expense. By doing more expense, obviously legal expenses. Legal expenses. That is what the thought is. That is what the thought is. To understand what kind of legal expenses you can claim in order to reduce taxes and shift the burden is what your responsibility at the end of the day is. Yes or no? Yes. Think about it logically. Think about it logically. The point is very simple. If you are claiming an expense, someone in the world is going to offer it as income. There is no doubt about it. Unless until that person is treating it as black money, he will have to end up offering it as income. So it's not disputable the fact that person will pay tax. How much he pays is the only question which is in picture right now. Agreed? Agreed? Yes. That's what my thought is. You have a dispute, you want to go by the book, go by the book. Practically, you will not be able to prove it to anyone. I can guarantee you that. Practically, prove it, there is a shift of burden not happening in direct tax. I can come and prove it is happening here. Clear case. Okay. Hello. Yes. Okay. I'll give you some scenarios. Tell me whether it is direct or indirect tax. Okay. Yes. Yes. VAT. VAT. Value added tax, ma. VAT. Huh? It's an indirect tax. It was subsumed into GST later on. Yes. Customs. Property tax. Property tax. Sure. What is property tax? Whatever. Tax which you already have in your hand. Tax which you already have in your hand. Obviously, you earned it from your income and asset only. So therefore, it is direct taxes. It is direct taxes. Water tax. Water tax, ma. Municipal tax. Water tax. Indirect tax. Thanni kudicha kaasu pay pannum. Yes. Regressive in nature. Levied on consumption. Levied on income. Get the background? Everyone? Polama? Polama. Yes, this is the subtle difference which you need to keep in mind when it comes to direct and indirect taxes. Can we proceed? Yes, yes, great. This is the second line of defense. Now, since we have now understood what is a direct tax and indirect tax, let's now jump to our subject, which is direct tax. Let's now jump to our subject, which is direct taxes. Now, in direct taxes, I am going to teach you one subject called as income tax. I'm going to teach you one subject called as income tax. Before I start the subject itself, one simple question to you. I have two words. One word is called as income tax laws. Income tax, which is what your name of the subject is. I have another word called as Income Tax Act. First, straightforward question. Are they both the same? You see, first two words are same only. Problem is here only. This is laws, this is question. Are they both the same? Sorry? Okay, that's the next question. So, it's not the same. Everyone says it's not the same. Tell me which one is bigger. Act is bigger. All convinced. Anyone says laws is bigger? No one? Not even 1%. 100% sure. One more opportunity. No? No, laws is bigger. Income tax laws is bigger than act. See, this is where the problem is. Understand, yesterday's discussion was saying law means what? And I said law means rules and regulations. So any rule and regulation you make is a law. What and all you prescribe will be an act. Yes or no? Yes or no? I'll ask you a simple question. Government says pay 30% tax. Is it a law? Pay 30% tax. Is it a law? How to pay 30% tax also is a law. Hello? Yes. To pay 30% tax is a law. How to pay 30% tax is also a law. Now, understand and tell me, do you think Nirmala Sitharaman has to come and tell you how to pay tax? He will only come and tell you, pay tax. So, she will come and put it in act saying pay 30% tax. Now, you will come and say, I am ready to pay 30%, but you have to tell me how. For that, how you have to prepare something called as rules. Will Nirmala ma'am come and tell about rules? Nirmala ma'am will not. Someone else will do it, but it is still a law. So which means act is bigger or law is bigger? Law is bigger. You understand? Yes. It is actually the other way around. The laws is the umbrella. The laws is the umbrella. Act is a part of the law. Act is a part of the law. Hello. Yes. When you read your foundation, you would have left something called as Companies Law. In that, you would have learned something called as Companies Act. What else did you learn? You would have also learned something called as Companies Rules. You should have also learned something called as Companies Rules. Adhe mari Contract Act. But actually you say Contract Law. Contract Law kulla you read Indian Contract Act 18. You also had Contract Rules 72. You also had case laws, Solomon versus Solomon, Carlyle versus Carbolic Smoke Factory, Balfour versus Balfour. வேற அவ்வளோதான் படிச்சிங்க. சரி சந்தோஷம். Yes, laws also comprises of your case laws. Laws also comprises of your case laws. At the end of the day, understand, no? Nirmala ma'am told what to do. Someone came and said how to do. You came and said I don't want to do. If you want to fight that, you also need a judge. You also need a judge. Judge will give you case laws. That is also a law. Yes or no? Now look, if judge comes and says this is how you should do it, and you come and say no, I don't care what you are saying, will it agree? No. Is it there in the act? No. But still you have to do it because judge has come and told it. Yes or no? So that is also one law. Hello. Yes, yes. So when it comes to income tax laws actually comprises of 5 items. Income tax laws comprises of 5 items. First item is இப்போதானே படிச்சோம் Income Tax Act 1961. இது மட்டும் தெரியும். Income Tax Act 1961. What else is there, Rahul? We have Income Tax Rules 1962. Date தப்பா இருக்கா? Is the date wrong? No? Date is right? Okay, date is right. Date is right. I have a problem now, or I am at least confused. I'm confused. Act is saying 61. Rules is saying, after 1 year there were no rules. 1 year everyone can do whatever they want. Correct? No? Correct? No? Yes, 1 year they let people do whatever they want, and then 1 year later they realized, oh no, we should have put something. Correct? Huh? Correct? Huh? Correct? Huh? If it is not passed, no one followed then. If you don't pass it, no one will follow. Why should they follow? They cannot do that. The act is always supposed to be incomplete. That is why rules are always there. It's not the first time. The Contract Act also has rules. You just don't know about it. From 1870s also rules were there. Income tax is nothing special. There were rules always. Do you think this is a mistake is my question. Do you think they forgot to put rules 1 year? There should be some reason. Nothing like that will happen. They want to see what people will react to it, is it? Loopholes cannot be changed in law, rules, by the way, just to clarify. I told you one simple thing. Understand? I told you Nirmala ma'am will tell what to do. Rules will come and tell you how to do. Assume there is a loophole. The loophole is there in the act or the rule? The act, which means if something has to be changed, can you put it in rules? Only change it in. Rules can only come and tell you how to do it. Rules cannot come and define something better. So even if you had a loophole, they have to change the act only. They cannot change rules and all. Yes or no? Yes, rules can only clarify how to do things. That's all is the point. Which means 1 year there was no clarification itself. People were doing whatever they want. Correct? No. Correct? No. Correct? No. No. Topic for next class. Topics for next class. Suspense vechikonga. Suspense vechikonga. Rules and act have a 1 year gap. Consciously, purposefully, reasonably. It is right. It is right. Why is it right? Is the whole essence of income tax. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. You cannot do that. Cannot do that. You cannot give retrospective effects and all. Rules it is only prospective. See, my point is, if they had to do retrospective, they could have put the rules name also as income tax rules 1961. No. Why did they have to put it 1962 and say retrospective from 1961? That's stupid. Consciously, rules are from 1962. Consciously, act is from 1961. There is a reason behind it. There is a reason behind it. A very good reason. You will understand. For you to understand that reason itself, you will need to understand the subject first. Okay. That itself will take 2 days for you. Okay. So we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Point is, understand, this is a special thing which happens only in income tax. Doesn't happen everywhere. Okay, you will come and say me, Rahul, apo Companies Act like Companies Act and Companies Rule or year maradu. Companies Act will be 2013, Companies Rules will also be 2013 only. GST Act will be 2017, GST Rules also will be 2017. Income tax alone is special. Income tax alone is special. We play a different role altogether. So our speciality requires us to have 1 year gap. Requires us to have 1 year gap. Why that 1 year gap? We will discuss. We will discuss. Right now, I will not tell you. Let that suspense happen. Let the suspense happen. Go die in suspense. Tupakila solvangla. Yes, adhe mari da irukum. Yes, rules and act. Rules and act. Third item which we have is something called as circulars. Ketrikingla. Ketriknom. Next, you have something called as notifications. Idu ketrikinga. Yeah, idu mattum ketrikinga. Adho kekla. Rendu onnu da. Then we have something called as case laws. All these together comprise of your income tax laws. Income tax laws. But if I leave it just with this, then there is no difference between this and Companies Act. I want to be something special. I want to be something special. My speciality is that I don't just have Income Tax Act. I now have an additional item called as Finance Act. So which means when you're going to read income tax laws, you're going to read 2 acts. One is Income Tax Act, one is Finance Act. One is Finance Act. For your exam, the Finance Act is 2023. For your exam, the Finance Act is 2023. Why, Rahul, is it not 2024? It came just now in February. It came just now in February. Ivlo sigrama implement panna matanga. Every Finance Act is applicable for 1 May and 1 November. So Finance Act 23 was applicable for May 24. So it is applicable for November 24 also. It is applicable for November 24 also. Hello. Yes, sir. Yes. So for you, Finance Act 2023 and Income Tax Act 1961. Apo you will come and ask me, Rahul, apo Finance Act 2022, Finance Act 2021, adala padikka thevilla. That is already there in income tax itself. That is already there in income tax itself. Understand, since 1961, income tax has never been amended. Income tax has never been amended. Every year what happens is one Finance Act will come and Finance Act will make changes in income tax. Finance Act will make changes in income tax, which means technically if you open the income tax 1961, you'll only find the provisions of 1961. You'll only find provisions of 1961. Apo Rahul, how to read the updated income tax? You have to read Income Tax Act 1961, Finance Act 1962, Finance Act 1963, 1964, 1965, 1966, 67, 68, 69, 22. No, they didn't do that. It came on 1st April. Don't break suspense. Yes, my point is very simple. Today, if you actually have to read income tax, you cannot read Income Tax Act 1961. You have to read Income Tax Act 1961 along with all the Finance Act from 1962 till 2023 and then 2023 also. How many years are there? Yes, Rahul, so much you have to read. Yes. Everything is there for syllabus. Yes. All that is there in 190 pages. Yes. Understand, technically all together is the 190 pages. All together is the 190 pages. The only thing is that what would happen is till Finance Act 2022, what amendments came are all in black. Finance Act 2023 alone is in green. So in my book, that is how it works. Everything till prior attempt will be in black. This attempt will be in green. And I already gave you this warning. If you don't clear November, next May, this green will become, you will get new. Next year, I'll come and say this is not Finance Act 2023, this is Finance Act 2020. அப்படிதான் போகும் அப்படிதான் போகும். Yes, it changes every year. Changes every year, which means the one thing which you can be sure about is what black you have plus what green you have will be last year's black. Correct? No. Yes, what black you have today is still last year's black plus current year green is altogether next year's black. The next year you have further greens. Next year you have further greens. If you can remember that, it is enough for you. At the end of the day, if you clear November, nothing will worry. November clear ஆகலன்னா தான் பிரச்சனை. That's a different topic. கடைசியில பார்ப்போம். Yes or no? Yes or no? Right now, in your exam, Rahul, what is there? You have Finance Income Tax Act 1961, along with all the Finance Acts updated till 2022, plus Finance Act 2023. Plus Finance Act 2023. Makes sense? Hello? Can we proceed? Yes. Now, you have so many things. My question to you is very simple. Rahul, who passes what? Who passes what? Income Tax Act, Finance Act, passed by. Very good. Income tax rules. Ministry of circulars. Hey, I'm not telling you it is right. நான் சும்மா எழுதுறேன். கன்வின்சிங்கா எழுதுறேன்னா கண்டிப்பா தப்பா இருக்கு. Income tax department karke nothing is there. There is nothing called income tax department. Next, circulars. Shoot, it's okay. Everything is wrong only. Next. Circulars. Quickly. Ditto na மேலே ஓட ditto கீழே ஓட ditto கீழே ஓட ditto. Okay, MOF. இது mother of affairs. இது என்னது? What is this? Acha, Ministry of Finance, sorry. Case laws. Hey, this at least you should know. Buddy. This I am right. This is okay. Understand, in civics you would have learnt very long back. That you have something called as 3 bodies of government. Legislative body, administrative or executive body, and judicial body. Yes, that is the best way to understand this. My question is, Rahul, which of this is a part of legislative body? This forms part of your legislative body. And legislative body, yes, is passed by parliament. No doubts. Yes, but understand, when it comes to parliament will have everyone here. All Lok Sabha members are sitting, all Rajya Sabha members are sitting. Yes or no? Yes, every person is sitting there. Every person knows income tax, correct? Every person knows income tax. Every person knows how to draft laws. Correct? Not correct? No. There should be some special person inside them also. That special person is called as Ministry of Finance. Yes, but understand, when you say Ministry of Finance, it means the ministry is handling all finances. I am talking about income tax. So which means Ministry of Finance itself is a very big ministry. They also need a special body relating to income tax. That special body is called as CBDT. Yeah, last 2 words you know. Last 2 words is direct taxes. The second word is, it's Central Board of Direct Taxes. It is Central Board of Direct Taxes, which means whenever you create a law, legislative body will create the law in the form of act. In that act, they will not come and tell you how to do things. For that, CBDT in income tax will come and create a rules. To answer those rules and act properly will then come circulars and notifications, which means this also will be passed by. And after you have done everything, if you are not happy, you will go and fight in a, which will be done in laws. Case laws, which means the next 3 items which you see are administrative or executive body, and final one is judicial body. Hello? Which one is superior, Rahul? Which one is superior? Which one is superior? I think one thing everyone is clear, administrative is not superior. Yes, sir. Yes. It's either judicial or, tell me, legislative is superior. Everyone? Judicial is superior. Okay, what should we do? Padi class inge, padi class ange. You learn laws with me, you learn case laws with me. The answer is both. The answer is both. Understand, there is one other thing which you learned in civics. There is three things. One is called as lawmaker. The other is called as law enforcer. Power Rangers poitu irukku. This one is law. Inge thane edikom. Law. Law what? Law judicial. What is it? It's law interpreter. It's law interpreter. Yes. Ask yourself a question. What is a law interpreter's job? To interpret the law. Which means act has done something. Rules has done something. But there is a problem in it. The problem is what we are talking about. The CS. Problem in the sense it is not clarified properly. Who will help you do this? Judicial bodies. So today what happened is something was not clarified. Department says like this, I say like this. Both are fighting. We go and sit before court. Court comes and says Rahul is right. That technically becomes the new law because they interpreted the law and they came and said something was not given, but I am telling you right now, so that is what the new law is. Agree to me. Yes, but imagine tomorrow what happens. Department is not happy. Department comes and says, how did you rule it in Rahul's favor? I am not happy. I will amend and change the act itself. Now tell me, if the act itself is amended, can the court interpret something else? Which means in that case, who becomes superior? In simple words, Rahul, as long as the law is in force, the judicial body is superior. As long as the law changes, legislative body becomes superior. Yes or no? Yes. As long as the law is in place, it is the judicial body. The moment the law is changed, it is legislative body. Yes, because the problem with judicial body cannot make laws. They can only interpret laws. They can only interpret what is there, which is what I told you yesterday, Vodafone's case law. The case law which I told, as long as the law was not clear, Supreme Court came and said it is not payable. Until that day, Supreme Court was superior. Next year, what they did, they went to court and they went to act and they came and said act itself is changed now. Now who became superior? Act became superior. At that point of time, can court come and say, no, I don't want to change it? Cannot do anything because act itself is changed. Law itself is not applicable anymore. Hello? Yes or no? That is how it works. It is always the judicial body unless and until the law is changed. Makes sense? Everyone? All clear? Yes. Now I have not clarified to you what is circular notification. We'll do it. But I'm assuming you know what is an act and what is the rules. Yes, sir. Yes. I'll ask you a question. Which is superior? Act or rules? Act is superior. Sure about it? No doubts? I'm asking you a question. The question comes and says, Act comes and says you have to pay 40% tax. You have to pay 40% tax. Rules come and say pay 30%, no problem. Pay 30%, no problem. How much will you pay? Seri, ulta vechikalam. Act is coming and saying pay 40% tax. Rules comes and says pay 60% tax. How much will you pay? Sure, you will not pay 60. Pay whatever is beneficial to you. My next question then will be, you is whom? Department or assessee? Beneficial for him is 60. Beneficial for you is 40. What will you pay? He is also human. You are also human. Which human is superior now? Question straightforward. Rules are saying something different from an act. Will rules prevail? No. I told you one thing very clearly. Who created that? Parliament did it. Yes, the ministry is a child of the parliament, or is it superior than parliament? It's a child of the parliament. In that whole in the whole parliament sits one ministry of finance, which means they are a small child of the whole parliament. Can the child come and say, I know better income tax than income tax itself? They cannot do that. They cannot do that. Rules will become superior over act. See, that is what I'm telling you. Don't break the suspense. It did not come a year later. Came in the same year. Sorry? See, the thing is, rules are not implemented, right? Rules is like today you notify, tomorrow it becomes applicable. There is no delay in it. Act takes time because act has to be passed. Okay, so the day when they decide rules has to come, the rules will come. There is no delay in that. Act takes time, which means in all practical sense, act could have been delayed. Rules cannot be delayed, which means it is well thought through that rules should be on 1962. I'm telling you right away. There is no mistake anywhere. Okay, let's not stick to it. I'm not going to give you the answer today, no matter what. Straight a solidra. Okay, if you break your head also, it will not come out. It will not come out unless and until you understand the subject, you cannot make anything of it. Okay, and today's discussion will definitely not have it. We will discuss it tomorrow. Patiently, we'll do it. That time you will appreciate it a little better. Now, ipo sollatala kuda unakku puriyadu. Okay? Okay? Yes, let's come back to the topic which we are discussing right now. My point is, you have Income Tax Act, Finance Act, Income Tax Rules, Circulars, Notifications, Case Laws. In this, the one thing which you have to explicitly and understandably make yourself clear is rules cannot override an act. Rules are made by CBDT and can only follow what an act comes and says. It can only elaborate what an act comes and says, but it cannot go beyond the scope of what act comes and says. If it does that, the rules will automatically become ultra vires. Will become, what does it mean? They are exercising power beyond their liability. They're expressing a power beyond their liability. They cannot do it. They cannot do it. And the moment something is ultra vires, it automatically becomes void ab initio. It becomes void ab initio, which means it was never even there in the first place. It was never even there in the first place. You tell me, Rahul, will someone do it stupidly? It happens. It happens. It has happened in the past also, where rules unfortunately has defined something beyond what act itself comes and says. In that case, they have come and said, I'm sorry, these rules are not applicable. Go delete everything off. It is not permissible. It has happened in the past. There are a lot of examples. Not much in inter, more in finals. More in finals, we'll discuss about all those things. Yes. Point is, you have an act, you have an rules. Rules are passed by CBDT. Circulars is passed by. Notification is passed by. Then you have case laws. One good news to you: the last one is not applicable for your inter syllabus. It has been moved to finals. In inter, you don't have case laws. You only have case laws in finals. In inter, they made it very clear: no interpretational challenges. What ICA comes and says is the final law. They will not give you any disputes. No, this or that will not happen in inter. Final, they'll come and say, yeah, this or that, both are okay. So in final level, they'll come and say, I'm giving you this, but some case law comes and says otherwise. You can do whatever you want, your wish. Okay. For which they would have defined about 350 case laws in your finals. You have to read every single case law and go for final exam. Padikno. Yana finals la direct taxes 100 marks. Yes, it is 100 marks. I'm actually very sad about why is income tax 50 marks in inter itself. That itself is wrong. The kind of syllabus which you have is not worth 50. Definitely worth 200 itself. Yes, you should have had 2 subjects for income tax itself. But anyway, your bad luck. Let's work with that. Okay. Yes. What is circulars? What is notification? Something we shall discuss on a later time. Right now, this is what it is. Make sense, everyone? Hello? Yes. Now, I have very clearly come and told you Central Board of Direct Taxes, which means it is only for income tax. Rahul, what if it is indirect tax? It will be called as CBIC. It is called as CBIC. Now, I, you know, it is indirect. What is C? Take a guess, wild guess. Commissioner. What is C? C is, it is Central Board of Indirect Tax and Customs. It is Central Board of Indirect Tax and Customs, because both are indirect taxes. They had to put it very clearly. Yes, Baki taxes and everything got subsumed and made into GST. So therefore they put it as Central Board of Indirect Tax and Customs. If it is companies, who is the ruling party? Central Board of Corporate Affairs, correct? It is ROC. It is ROC, Register of Companies. Register of Companies. There and all it is not central board. Here it is only central board. Yes. For your syllabus in direct tax, you will learn someone called as CBDT. In your indirect tax, you learn someone called as CBIC. CBIC. Facts are clear? Hello. Yes. Yes. Ippodhukku law enna purinjudhu. Yes. Can we now break everything one by one? Yes. Now the fun starts. Now we are going to create law. You are going to create law. You have to, for me to teach you what is income tax, I need to first create a different law with you. Then we'll do income tax. Yes. So today, Pragya classes, November 2024 syllabus is going to create a new law with me. Okay. We are going to understand the whys, the whats, then create a law and then post it and implement it. Post it and implement it. Okay. Yes. I gave you so much background because I want you to keep that background in mind. Then only you will be able to create a law properly. All right. Yes. 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 I'm thinking what law to create. Okay. Let's create a law. See, always to create a law, you need to have an underlying problem first. For a problem, in the solution. Yes. Maybe the problem which I'm facing right now is I don't know what is a fruit. There is a dispute going on. There is a dispute going on because every bloody time I go in the market, everyone comes and says tomato is a fruit or tomato is a vegetable. Yes, and this is a huge problem. This is a huge problem. So I found out an underlying problem. The problem is I don't know what is a fruit. So let's create a law called as Fruit Act. We'll create a law called as Fruit Laws. No problem. See, everything else is already defined. We need to find something new, no? Implement panna porona, everyone should view it also. Yes. So let's create a new law. The law will be called as Fruit Law. The law will be called as Fruit Law. Yes. For everything to happen, you need to first have a reasoning. My reasoning is very simple. I don't know what is a fruit. Problem identified. Problem identified. Let's make a solution. I have created something called as Fruit Laws. The first question I'll ask myself is, Rahul, can I create a fruit law? Can I create a fruit law? For me to do that, I need to go and check. I need to go and check Constitution of India. So I will go and run through my whole articles and check whether I can define something. See, this is not going to impact anyone. I'm just going to define something and tell whether this is a fruit or not. Is it going to take away someone's rights? Which means, can I do it? Yes. So then I'll go to article number 246. In article number 246, now I have to ask myself, Rahul, do I want this fruit law for India or for a state, or if there is going to be a fight between both? What do you want? You want it for the whole of India? So this will be done by union list. This will be done by union list. So I have gone and identified that yes, it has to be done by a union list. Now if I have to do it by a union list, which means there should be now a ministry. I have to create a ministry also. Now someone has to pass it. Yes. So someone has to create the law also. Now you are my ministry. What do you want to call yourself? Ministry of Fruits. Ministry of. Hey, put yourself a name. Big deal. Fruits. Apo you will not be Ministry of Vegetables. Food. Food. Then you can call it as Ministry of Agriculture, no? It's already there. Yes. So assume yourself that you are already a part of the Ministry of Agriculture now. There is already a ministry. You are a part of Ministry of Agriculture. Hello. Yes. Now in Ministry of Agriculture, what will happen? Fruit alone is there or everything will be there? So now you need to create a special board called it as Central Board of. See, you are the ministry. You tell me, I'll put the names. I don't mind. Central Board of Fruit Affairs sollama. Fruits and vegetables. Adha agriculture la appo. Fruit Affairs nu sollama. Konjam exciting ah irukku paakuradhukku. Central Board of Fruits na or weird ah irukku. Central Board of Fruit Affairs konjam power ah theriyudhu. Or maryada vechikalam. Yes, you have created a ministry also. You have created a ministry also. Yes, yes. Now you are going to start creating a act. You're going to start creating an act. The act will be called as Fruit Laws. See, in Fruit Laws, you need something called as Fruit Act, Fruit Rules, Circulars, Notifications. Hey. Who are you? Who are you? You are the legislative body. Will you create case laws? Is it important right now? Why are you wasting time on this? Yes, yes. We will not create case laws. We will create only act, rules, circulars, notifications. Yes, yes. Now we are going to create a fruit act. We're going to create a fruit act. Act is going to be called as where is my purple? Yes. So we are going to call it as fruit act 2000. Very good. This is my heading. This is my heading. A. What is the intention behind this act? To identify whether something is fruit or vegetable. Clear with me? Yes, this is what our underlying assumption is. This is what our underlying assumption is. Now we are going to create an act. We're going to create an act. Obviously, you'll put numbers. Yes, 1, 2, 3. What is this numbers called as? Very good. At least that's it. We call them as sections. Every time you create a numbering, it is called as section. Yes. So the first thing which you have is called as section 1. Section 1. What should section 1 comprise of? Define the act. Definition of edutone. It should have the name of the act. We call it as short title. The first thing, obviously, you have to come and tell what is the name of the act. Section number 1 comes and tells what is the name of that. What will you say? This act is hereby going to be named as Fruit Act 2020. Very good. Next. Edutone definition avanu unukku. Purpose of the act. Purpose inge varadu. Section number 1 has 3 components. Very good. It will have the extent and then commencement. It will have short title, extent, commencement. Rahul, what is short title? What is extent? What is commencement? Short title means the name of the act. Extent means to whom is it applicable. Commencement means from when it is applicable. These are the first 3 questions you have to ask yourself. Yes? Yeah, help me. Short title நானே சொல்லிட்டேன். மேலே இருக்கு. Extent. So you are telling me this applies to the whole of India. Clean? Clean, no problem. All clean. Okay, great. Yes. Now, if you were doing this discussion with me about 2022 and prior, I would have put something extra. I would have put something extra called including Jammu and Kashmir or excluding Jammu and Kashmir, because back then there was an article called 370 or 71 or something. ஏதோ ஒன்று 37 ஆரம்பம் அதுக்கப்புறம் 0 வரும் தெரியல. Yes, point is that article used to always come and say that whenever an act is going to be implemented in India, a special permission from J&K has to be received, because J&K is still not clear whether it is a part of India or is a part of Pakistan or China. That is how it was. Therefore, what happened is every time we used to create an act, we used to get a special approvals. In 2022, Modi Sarkar came and said, I know J&K is my property only. I don't care whether Pakistan says otherwise. I don't care if China says otherwise. They removed the article itself. So any act which you see going forward will not have the name called as including Jammu and Kashmir or excluding Jammu and Kashmir. Yes, old acts will still have it. They have not changed it because it is still the same. New acts will not have it. We are creating in 2024. Do we have to mention? We don't have to mention. Yes, sir. Yes. So you have completed what is extent. Next. This act shall come into force from 1st April 2000. Future passing. Okay. See, generally in all practical sense, I would come and say, let's pass it today itself. No, why are you delaying it? If you put it as 1st April, then you have to wait for 2 more months. It is not useful. We can do it today, but anyway, your choice. Maybe by 1st April, you would have completed the income tax subject with me. Then we'll pass it together. Okay, and then I'll pass panu. Your choice. We are doing it from 1st April 2024. Section 1 clear. No doubts. Everything is actually clear. Yes, whatever written is perfect. No problem at all. Correct? Sure. Yes. Now comes my stories. These stories are going to irritate you, but you have to answer. because you told me everything is right. Okay, okay. My stories are like this. My stories are like this. You created this act. Okay, after that you've written too many things and all. Everything is created. Now Rahul as a CA has come to you. Rahul as a CA has come to you and has told you some issues which his clients have faced. Some issues which the clients have faced. You are the ministry. Help me out. Am I talking about a person or am I talking about a location? How is it India?
You have the emphasis and stuff, right?
Right.
Should we be specific?
Will you be selling fruits there? Just in case what? Will they be buying fruits from you or will they be selling fruits there? That's exactly what my question was. As a ministry, what is your intention behind this act? Are you trying to define something or are you trying to sell something? Definition, what you apply here will be the same for embassy also, no? Technically. Yeah. Okay. Any other doubts? You want to take a chess? No, it's not. Abdina? Do you want to do it for persons or India? Location உனக்கு வேணுமா இல்ல ஆளு வேணுமா? ஆளு வேணும், லொகேஷன் வேணாம். அப்போ கிறிஸ்கேல் வந்து வாங்கினா அது ஃப்ரூட் இல்ல. உனக்கு கிறிஸ்கேல் ஜஸ்டின் பீபர் எல்லாம் வாங்கி போனா சார் நீங்க என்ன வேணா வாங்கிக்கோங்க அது ஃப்ரூட் இல்ல சொல்லிடுற ஸ்ட்ரைட்டா. இல்ல அவன் கிறிஸ்கேல் சென்னையில வந்து வாங்கினா ஃப்ரூட் தான். அப்போ லொகேஷன் தான் முக்கியம். கரெக்டா போட்டிருக்கேன். ஓகே. Convinced everything is right. Okay. Look at my scenarios. Look at my scenarios. It so happened that Rahul came and approached you people as a ministry. Rahul came and approached you as ministry and came and said, "Dear ministry, there is this very peculiar case which has come to me. There is this very peculiar case which has come to me. One of my very close clients looked at your act and has reached out to me with the following issues. He gave me a whole movie. I am trying to replicate the movie to you. Tell me where the issues are. Tell me where the issues are. You are the ministry. Sit and silently, patiently listen. Okay. The issue is like this. Very rich person resides in Chennai. One day when he was walking on the road, he found a new garden. Okay. And the new garden, when he opened, he went and he saw the place. The place had something new growing. He looked at the item. He could not realize what exactly it is. Okay, but then luckily you had created a new fruit act. So basis that fruit act, he came to a conclusion: this is not a fruit. He went and he took this product. He went and he sold it to someone. And he came and said, "Dear sir, this is what my fruit act looks like. Look at the fruit act. This is not a fruit. This is a very specially handmade, exorbitant item. I want some 50 lakhs per fruit. I want 50 lakhs per fruit." The person looked at the item and came and said, "Yeah, it is not defined in fruit act, therefore I will pay you 50 lakhs. The problem was other way around. If at all it was a fruit, you would have only got 10 rupees for it. Because that is what you put in the act. You put in the act saying that inimale, if something is a fruit, you pay only 10 rupees for it. If it is not a fruit, you can decide your fees. The problem is like this, that he sold it and he said, "Sir, in this act it comes and says, it's not a fruit, therefore I am liable for 50 lakhs, pay me 50 lakhs. The person went and he bought the item from him, paid him 50 lakhs. This was scenario number one. In this scenario, tell me, you have defined what is a fruit and the product has been sold in Chennai market. Is your act applicable to the sales? Yes, because as per you, Chennai is a part of India. So therefore it is applicable. This was not the issue. First scenario. Yes. Now what happened is, you said yes, he also sold all products. 50 lakhs per item he's selling. He made a huge sales. People were very excited to buy. He ended up getting a 50 crores worth of revenue. Cost was zero because he found it in garden. So 50 crores is his income. Background clear? Now you have 50 crores in your hand. What will you do? What will you do? Hey, 17-18 mindset. Rahul, I'll go invest in stock market, this market, and all. No. Honestly, what will you do? Siri, boys, what will you do? Acquire? Settle in foreign. The garden is in India. Why would you settle in foreign? You will? What actually? Develop your business. Hey. Greedy is greedy only. Never one money is enough money. Buy a Royal bike 50 crores. 50 crores என்ன பண்ணுவடா? சரிடா, சரி ஒரு பைக் வாங்கிட்ட வேற. Oh, you have 50 lakhs, you will try to develop the money only, you will not enjoy life. Some people will try to enjoy life, no? Enjoy, how will you enjoy life for Kekran? I told you in the first class itself. If you come here for doing smart things, don't come to me. We will do all fun only. What fun will you do is my question. It's okay. Recording will not go out. என்னோட மூஞ்சி மட்டும் ரெக்கார்டிங்ல வரும், உங்களோட பேர் வராது. I will take blames. What will you do? It's okay. I will not judge you. It's okay. I am also having the same mindset only. நான் சொன்னிட்டு அது fun இல்லையே. I am already old enough for it. Anyway, okay. Maybe I'll take reference from my previous batch. My previous batch came and said, sir, if I have 50 crores, I'll go to Thailand. Now he knows. I told a simple thing. If you have 50 crores, why will you go to Thailand? Thailand itself will come to you. Correct, no? If you understood, great. If you don't understand, forget it. Sorry. Very young people you are. You don't understand this much also. Sorry, okay. Assume 50 lakhs the client had. He decided Thailand itself has to come to him. Or people of Thailand has to come to him, whatever it is. Yes. But the thing is, obviously, this much Thailand people coming to Chennai, Chennai itself will become Thailand. So what he thought is, was 50 crores I should spend somewhere judicially. So what he did is, he found a separate island. Converted into Thailand. You have seen this, no? We have a very famous Baba in enna peru? Nityananda. India became very poor for him. So he opened his own island. Now that is itself running its own country. That has its own RBI, it seems. Apply பண்ணிருக்கீங்களா? Imagine, same person, 50 crores in hand. If you think number is smaller, 500 crores வச்சுக்கோங்க. Whatever it is. Yes, he decided that he wants to go to a different place. India has become poor for him. India, nothing is there right now. So he wants to cultivate somewhere else. So he went, he found took a ship, is traveling. Here and all water is there. Okay, he found an island here. On this island, he called all Thailand people and all. This has become the new Thailand. Here itself he made that land also, where he is cultivating that new product. Now he is moved out of Chennai. He is in a separate island, has his own place. Yes, out of this 50 crores, he is assuming spent the whole 50 crores. What he wants to do now? He will start selling once again. So he started cultivating, he started selling once again. Now where is he? He is on the island. He cultivated some product and people came to him on this island and bought the item. From here he is selling it now. People came to his island, came and said, I want this product. He said 50 lakhs per piece. They said, no, I will pay only 10 rupees. He said, no, 50 lakhs per piece. Sir, 10 rupees. Hey, negotiate up under 50 lakhs. Sir, understand, I am right now buying this from you in the island. In this island, this is not a defined item. This is not a defined item because you said fruit is only applicable for whole of. Therefore, I will only pay you 10 rupees. I will only pay you. Ministry. Is this fruit? Not a fruit. How much should he get? 10 rupees or 50 lakhs? நீங்க தான் டிஃபைன் பண்ணீங்க, நானா பண்ணேன்? I am your chartered accountant. I have this problem. You are the ministry. You have made a mistake. Or have you made a mistake is my question. Question புரிஞ்சுதா? There is an island which is not in the borders of India. It is outside the borders of India. You have sold an item. The item, there they are coming and saying it is not fruit act because fruit act is only for. He said, no, sir. This place is also India. So therefore, I want 50 lakhs. The other person is saying, how is it? India. And now you are stuck because you just said it is applicable to whole of. So what the hell is India? Now tell me, is my client right or is the buyer right? So because of a faulty drafting for you, buyer is now going to get only 10 rupees for this. யாரோட மிஸ்டேக்? நீங்க தானே டிராஃப்ட் பண்ணீங்க. What did you draft? You said applicable to whole of. இப்போ now you are itself coming and saying அது இந்தியா இல்ல, அதனால 10 ரூபாய் தான் இருக்கும். நான் எங்கடா எழுதினேன் இந்தியன் வருஷன்? நான் எழுதி கொடுத்தேன். நான் சொல்லவே இல்லையா உனக்கு இந்தியன் வருஷன்? அசியூம் பண்ணுமா? சரி, இந்தா. The assumption is this place to this place is 230 nautical miles. The assumption is this place to this place is 230 nautical miles. What is the boundary? Where is it given? Where is it given? ஒருத்தர் 20 சொல்றான், ஒருத்தர் 220 சொல்றான். ஜியோகிராஃபி அவ்வளோ மாறி இருக்காது. இல்லை நீங்கள் வேற புக் படிச்சிருக்கீங்களோ? ஒருத்தர் சிபிஎஸ்சி படிச்சிருப்பார், ஒரு ஐசிஎஸ்சி படிச்சிருப்பாருங்க. ஐசிஎஸ்சி would come and say, yeah, 250 no problem, everything is our India only. State board will come and say nautical miles na first என்ன சொல்லு, அதுக்கப்புறம் பேப்போம். My question is very simple. You read it in some geography book. Can you use that as a reference? Can you come and say, yeah, India means what is defined in geography book? Correct, no? The problem which you have right now is you have told a word, but no one knows what is the word. You see where the issue is. If you think the issue is solved, no. Scenario number one. I'm holding the discussion. I don't know. You have to make a decision. You are the ministry. Tell me you want this case, you don't want this case. That's your choice. Okay. Issue number 2. The facts are going on. Now I don't care whether he sold it for 10 lakhs or 50 lakhs. Some negotiation happened. He's still earning money. Now he's become super rich. 50 crores became 5,000 crores. He went and he reached out scientists and everything and came and said, I am bored of India. I am bored of Ireland also. I want to be more special. I want to discover Atlantis. You know what is Atlantis? The lost world. Atlantis is the lost world. He basically came and said, the island which I'm standing on, no, it looks like it is only the surface. Maybe there is something on the ground. He bought some high-tech equipments, scuba diving equipments. From here he jumped. From the island he jumped. He went down 200 feet. He found there is some place here. On this place he called scientists and everyone and he came and said, let's develop a city here. In this city he has now developed the city and here itself he has made the land also. Greenhouse land. Here he is making the item. Now the person is not coming here. The person is coming here and he is buying the product. Where? 200 feet underwater. Same question. The person is saying, I want. 10 rupees. You are saying you want India, not India. Not India. First one is Ado, not India. Okay. I don't know. If you tell me not India, then it's your problem. You have to define me problem then. You have to amend the act accordingly. You have to amend the act accordingly and tell me what is India then. Okay. Because you cannot bluntly come and say based on case to case. Does it matter? So you amend saying that if you sell in Indian currency, it is fruit. Avdi. Adha, if you accept Indian currency, it is fruit. Don't accept Indian currency? Okay. Question is like this. Chris Gale is coming to you and coming and buying this. Now obviously what will happen? Chris Gale will do bank transfer. So Chris Gale pays in West Indian dollars. And your bank will give you Indian currency. Now tell me. I don't think currency can be an issue. You cannot do that. Is currency maarada variation illa? Yes, yes. Scenario number 2. I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer. Yes. Some more scenarios. Okay. Now this person is living underwater. Now the person is living underwater. 5,000 crores he's made. He will be known by the market, not known by the market. Be known by the market. He'll also be known by terrorists. Yes. So what happened is a terrorist group found out that this person has developed a new item and he's making crores of money based on this. What will they do? Steal. They'll first kidnap the person itself. Yes. So what happened is there was a terrorist group which was currently sitting in Visakhapatnam somewhere here. Yes. The terrorist group took a scuba diving kit, came all the way to the underwater area. Kidnapped both the client and the items. They brought these items to Visakhapatnam. Now the problem is they are terrorist group, which means obviously they are not staying on the land. Where are they staying? Underground. They are staying inside caves, undergrounds. So what happened is here in Visakhapatnam they had dug a hole 100 feet down. 100 feet down. They are inside the cave. In that cave, what happened is the terrorists took the item which you made and tried to sell. Terrorist, the other person who bought it, came and said, I will pay 10 rupees. Terrorists come and say, no, I took so much efforts and bought it because that person is selling for 50 lakhs. He said, no, sir, I will pay only 10 rupees. He's like, what is the problem? I said, the problem is, sir, if you had sold it to me on the land, I would have given you 50 lakhs because the land is India, but you are underground. Underground is not India. If underground is India, underwater is also India, no? Hey, அந்த boundary கீழ தான இருக்கு. You get my question? See, you told me India is the surface. I'm telling you I'm not on the surface. I'm telling you I'm under the surface. See, the problem is, if you tell me, Rahul, under the surface is also covered, I'll say, where is it given? If you tell me under the surface is also covered, I'll ask you, where is it given? What did you tell me? India. For me, what does India mean? Did you define? I have the liberty to choose. I chose what India means if you are doing it on the land. Adha India. Yes or no? Am I wrong in my assumption? Which is where I'm coming back to the point. Whose mistake that it is not defined? What is geographical territory? It's not given anywhere. That is the problem. No, if it was given, I would have not asked you. See, understand, the point is very simple. Now you are making certain decisions as a ministry. Some people are coming and saying, Rahul, underground should also be covered. What is your responsibility now? To ensure that that is mentioned. If you mention, I cannot dispute. If you don't mention is where I can dispute. You understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? My point is very simple. Whenever you create a law, every word can be interpreted as long as it is not given. What is your job? To make sure it is given. You get my facts. Get my facts. If you think this much is enough. So right now, if you have come to this position, let's define. Shall we define India? Yes, let's define India. India means the land mass. You want this or don't want this? You want it? Hey, hello, you want it or don't want it? You want it. Okay, great. You want this property, not property? Bana. Sure. No one wants it? No one wants it? Your choice, ma. You are the ministry. I am not questioning. No? What if I make this land at 100 nautical miles? Then you want it? If the land is here? That also you don't want. 10 nautical miles? Give me a number, ballpark number. Ballpark number. See, my thought is if you give me a random number, then the problem comes is after India, here you have your Bay of Bengal and Indian Ocean also. Yes, if you come and tell me a ballpark number which is not covering Indian Ocean, what will happen? You are itself coming and telling me that a part of Indian Ocean is international waters. If you come and tell me that a part of Indian Ocean is international waters, what will happen? What will happen? You are losing your own land. You are using your own land. Yes or no? Do you want to lose your land? No. You want to keep control over things? Yes. So you need to have an analysis to things. You cannot just like that throw a number. It has to be some research done. Yes. Now, technically, as per the research which has happened in India, 200 nautical miles is what is approved. 200 nautical miles is what is approved. We call them as territorial waters. We call them as territorial waters up to 20 nautical miles. Up to? So from the land shore till 20 nautical miles is called as territorial waters. Is called as territorial waters. From 20 nautical miles to 200 nautical miles, meaning 21 to 200. This is called as exclusive economic zone. This is called as exclusive economic zone. As per the normal geography which you have learnt, this is a part of India. This is a part of India. But can I rely on geography and do it? No. I need to define it somewhere. Then only it makes sense. Then only it makes sense. Yes or no? Yes. Now let's understand the words very carefully. First word is territorial waters. What does it mean? This waters is a part of India. You can do anything here. You can do anything here. What is exclusive economic zone? We can carry out. Very good. Exclusive economic zone is a case where I'm coming and saying that yes, this is also a part of India, but this is not a place where you can live. This is not a place where you can live. This is only a place where you can trade. This is only a place where you can trade. You cannot live here. You cannot come and say that this is a. You cannot come and say that this is a land of India. Meaning, one person, if he finds an island here, cannot come and say, I want to live here. No. This will still be called as an external waters for living purposes, for settlement purposes. But in the same place, you can still continue to do trades. You can still continue to do trades. These are the places where generally you will find army officers. Navy officers. These are the places where you will find navy officers. They will be standing exactly on the 200 nautical miles. Yes, anywhere between that period is where they'll stand. If you go beyond 200 nautical miles, these are now called as international waters. These are now called as international waters. If you want to cross that 200 nautical miles, you need to have a passport. You need to have a passport. You need to call yourself as a person who's traveling on passport. Otherwise, you will be called as entering someone else's territory, will be immediately declared as a terrorist and will be taken into their supervision. That is how it happens. That is how it happens. That is why if you would have noticed in the past and all, they would have come and said some fishermen and all went to Sri Lanka. Now they were not aware about it because the international waters, it's not like they put a barricade and all. There is just one small line. Okay, on the line you don't know whether you are crossing or not. If there is a huge storm and all going on, you will not know. You will not know. The line will get hidden somewhere in the sea. If you end up crossing that, Sri Lanka government can come and say, yes, you have crossed my border, you are trespassing, I'm sorry, it looks like you are a terrorist, maybe you are a secret agent of India, you are caught and you are sentenced to jail. If they feel, they can kill you right on spot also. All permissions granted. All permissions granted, completely permitted. Completely permitted. Yes, there can be fights happening. Indian government can make special requests and bring them back and everything. But if at all there is a small delay in that process also, Sri Lanka government can do anything which they want with you. Yes, you would have seen this very famous movie called recent Ram and Sita Raman. Yes, you would have seen that, no? They entered Pakistan borders, no passport and all. They put them in jail, and then one person they left, other person killed. Completely permitted. Completely permitted. They can do anything with you as long as you don't have a rightful passport and a rightful visa to enter their locations. That is called as international borders. That is international borders. This is international waters. This is international waters. Clear? Yes. That's why I said, no, it's exclusive economic zone. You can do all trades. Extraction and all is permitted because it's a trading area. You cannot live there. The Navy officers will not permit you to live there. Okay. Okay. Yes. 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 I'll help you with the C part. I'll help you with the C part. My C part is very simple. If I have to define India, I will come and say definition of India means land of. Definition of India means land of India. It also includes territorial waters and it also includes exclusive economic zone. Now I've covered the land part and the water part. Now you tell me, do you want the underground of the water area? Do you want the underwater area? Yes. So then you will also have to include that. You will have to come and say it also includes continental shelf, subsoil, base reliefs. Fourth question, do you also want to include underground? Yes. Yes. It also includes underground area. It also includes underground area. Now do you think definition makes more sense? Have you covered everything? That was what my next question was. Following up with the scenario, the story goes like this. He has been caught by terrorists. Terrorists have kept him for a good amount of time. Suddenly he is like Tony Stark, right? People come, he has been given an opportunity to make a robot, whatever it is. He made a robot and flew off from there. Found his location, got a private jet. In that private jet, he's sitting eating his cheeseburger sandwich. All those things are happening. Point is, what is happening is when he's on the flight, people are asking him, why did you get kidnapped and all those things. He's showing that he had this item. Because of this item is what he got caught. Now this item has become so famous that people on the flight itself are ready to buy it from you. Now you are on the flight giving this item to someone else. And the person comes and says 10 rupees and you says 50 lakhs. He says, no sir, 10 rupees because you only covered land, water, underwater, underground. You did not cover air. Now tell me, do you want to include, not include? Include. Yes. Yes. Rahul, what level of air do you want to include? Obviously, no. Flight can travel at 500 feet, 1000 feet, 2000 feet, 4000 feet. What air do you want to include? You want to include all air? Yes. Normally, India definition would come and say it also includes airspace above these areas. Meaning, it includes all airspace from Indian landmass and water bodies. All airspace. I am using the word very carefully, all. Now is the definition more clear? Nothing missed out? Think logically. Think about it. No, all examples you can think of. You covered the land, you covered the sea, you covered undersea, you covered underground, you also covered above. Is there something pending? Nothing is pending? Yes. Last scenario. You have gone on the jet, reached your island back because you have been kidnapped and everything. You become super famous. Elon Musk comes to you and comes and says, dear client, you have become super rich. I am planning to settle on Mars. Why don't we create your land in Mars also? Why don't we create your cultivation on Mars also? Let's take a skyrocket and let's go. You said, great idea. I have money. Let's go. Yes. Now, my question is not whether Mars is India. Definitely no. That is not the debate itself. My question is, when he is going in space, the skyrocket is here. Now, assuming this is not 230, this is 100. Is it a part of India? Yes. Now, the skyrocket is here. From here, it goes up the Mala. It has crossed the airspace and entered space. Air matto illa, space irukku. Now, you give it to Elon Musk. Elon Musk comes and says, I'm a little hungry. Can we share the product? Can we share the product? You said, no, this is very costly and all, you will have to pay me for this. He says, okay, here, 10 rupees. Now, you come and say, no, this is 50 lakhs. He says, no, we are above airspace. This is no more a fruit. So technically, Elon Musk did not come to you for Mars and all. He wanted to have the fruit for 10 rupees. That's all. Smart guy. Now, question, final scenario. Sorry. Rocket is Indian born. Define Indian one enna artham? It belongs to no one because Elon Musk and Rahul are the ones who are flying the rocket. So it's neither made by NASA, it's neither made by ISRO. It's made by Elon Musk. They have no SpaceX. It's made by SpaceX. My question is very simple. You are right now in a rocket above airspace. Only space. Does this act apply? No. Should it apply? No. Should not apply. See, here you have to be logical. If you come and say, Rahul, it should apply. Now that the problem starts. If you say, Rahul, it should apply, then you will come and say, galaxy above India. That's a different gambit altogether. That cannot happen because every time you go to the galaxy, the India is also revolving. Yes, today you may go straight. You may stay there for one day. What will happen? By the time you come to one day, you come down the same place, it will be China. Because Earth is revolving. In that case, is it practically possible for you to cover galaxy? No. In that case, if you end up covering galaxy, you will come and say the whole galaxy is India's only. Then Modi Sarkar will come and say, Naan da ellame jeichen. And the Miss Universe no solvaangle adan. He'll become government of universe. And the level ku poidum. My question is, should you practically cover that now? No, you should not practically cover it. Yes or no? Yes. You understand where we are. We have not even started the act. நாங்க இப்போ செக்ஷன் 1 தான் படிச்சோம். அந்த செக்ஷன் 1ல ஒரே ஒரு வேர்ட் படிச்சோம், அந்த வேர்டுக்கு போச்சு. Problem is, if it is not defined, it is not right. If it is not defined, it is not right. What do you want to define now? You want to define India. Question is, Rahul, where do you define? Generally in any act, section number 2 will always be a definition section. Section 2 is defined in any act to be a definition section only, which means if you want to put definitions under an act, it will only be a part of section 2. Is that understanding right? It's not. If you think that Rahul definitions will only be a part of section 2, the understanding there itself is wrong. Here is where you have to ask yourself a next question. Rahul, what do you want to define? India. You want to define India. Question is, Rahul, do you want to define India for the whole fruit act, or do you want to define it only for a specific scenario? Do you want to define India for the whole fruit act, or do you want to only define it for a specific scenario? If you want to define it for the whole act, does it make sense to put it in every section? No. In that case, it makes sense to put it in section number 2. What I'm trying to tell you is, going forward, if you want to define something, you have to ask yourself a question, Rahul, what is this definition applicable to? Is it applicable to a special scenario? Is it applicable to a special act? Or is it applicable to everything? If you tell me that, Rahul, it is applicable to a special scenario, can you put it in section number 2? You can't. Because what will happen? The moment you put it in section number 2, everywhere you see this word, that is what the meaning is. Yes or no? I'm saying, Rahul, if it is not to be a special scenario, it has to be a generic case for the whole act. In that case, you'll put it in section number 2. Makes sense? I'll give you a simple example. When we read income tax, I will keep on asking you one simple question. Tell me, what is a family? Tell me. I asked this question in foundation also, I remember. My question is very simple. What is a family? What do you think is a family? All related by? See, technically, if you think about it, Adam and Eve lende nee dhaan vanda. So you're all related by blood from all ancestors level. அப்படி பார்த்தா யார் கூட கல்யாணம் ஆக முடியாது. Yes. In all practical sense, you're all related by blood only. Just the DNA will not match. You see where the problem is? See where the problem is? See, I'm not telling you family cannot be defined. I'm telling you for every person, family is different. Income tax also has the same logic. Income tax will come and say when you're taking a life insurance, you would not like to call your parent as a family. Think about it. Think about it. When you're taking a life insurance, you would not like to call your parent as a family. Why? He's right. He's right. Think about it. This is India. If you are given the liberty to take a life insurance on your parent, you may be a good child, but in all 99% of the cases, what will happen? You will take a life insurance and the next person who's killed them is you only. Because at the end of the day, you want the insurance money, yes or no? Their income tax came and said, boss, life insurance, I cannot approve on parent. So which means for a family, even though your parent may be a family, but for that section, it is not. Makes sense. Either if it is medical insurance, would you like to cover your family also? Yes, you would like to cover your parents also, because if you are giving medical insurance for parents, that's a good thing. There is no benefit which is going to come out of you. There they will come and say, yes, family includes parent also. You see what I'm saying? My point is, in this case, can you define that family in section number 2? No. You can only define that as in the respective section. Agreed, not agreed? Agreed? Yes. So every time you see a definition, you need to ask yourself a very simple question. Where is the definition? Is the definition under a specific section? If you say yes, I will say then it is only applicable to that section. You cannot take it as a reference for anything else. You cannot take it as reference for anything else. Even if the same word comes in a different section, you cannot use it. They will say it is not applicable. If you say it is in section number 2, then you will come and say the definition is applicable for whole act. It is applicable for whole act. Clear, not clear? Hello? Yes. Now, assume you are also human. Errors are possible. You forgot to define something. You have not even put it in a section. You have not even put it in section number 2. But confusion has started because you have not defined it. You need a solution. I know you can amend the law, but it will happen next year only. Right now, there is a solution to be made. What will you do? What will you do? Today, dispute has started. You need to solve the answer. What exactly does this mean? Yes or no? Yes or no? In that case, what is the best way to do? See, section la illa, 2 la kuda illa. What is the next approach? What is the next approach? You will obviously reach out to a court. You will come and say, dear court, no answers, you help me. You help me. But the court also has to find it from somewhere. What will the court do? You will think, Rahul, that kind of mistakes will happen. Huh? I'll give you an example. Any act you read will come and say, if a person is found liable for an issue, he shall be levied a penalty of 10,000 rupees. Should I repeat? If a person is found to be liable for an issue, he shall be liable for 10,000 rupees. What did you understand? What did you understand? The moment you saw the word he, some people will come and say, Rahul, it only covers males. It happened in the past. It happened in the past where a lot of issues, females came and said, the word only says, and there is no question or doubt. There is no question or doubt. Since the word says he, it will only levy penalties on males. Females are exempt. Females can do whatever they want. Now, question to you is very simple. Should an act come and define what is he? Should an act come and define what is he? It should. It didn't. Now what? Now what? Will you come and say, yes, females, no problem. No penalties. Do whatever you want. Kill people also, it's fine. No, right? Has to come from somewhere. Has to come from somewhere. Yes. Now you come and tell where to come from, Rahul. Yes. For this, the world, India at least, has created a special act which you have as a part of your inter-syllabus. It's called as General Clauses Act. It's called as General Clauses Act. This act basically comes and says, if you have a definition which is not defined anywhere, come to me. Come to me. I will help you out. I will help you out. This General Clauses Act has one of the subclause which comes and says, wherever you see a word he under any act and that he is not defined in the act, unless it is specifically excluded in that act, it will also include she. It will also include she. So the act comes and says he includes she unless and until explicitly removed. which means if today Income Tax Act uses the word he, it is enough to go. Yes, because what will happen? Even if income tax does not define the word he, they will come and say no problem, go check clauses act. Clauses act has she also, which means you are covered, you have to pay penalty. Makes sense. Makes sense. So the approach of a court is like this. They will first look at the specific section. Ange illa, they will look for section number 2. Angeyo illa, they will look for general clauses. Rahul, angeyo illa. CBF ku enna pannom? You will go and ask them to do it, no? Adhaan kekrenda, if you go and ask them to do it, they will bring it next year only, no? Ippe vand eduthu varuvanga. Right now dispute has already happened. When you entered into the transaction, the definition was not there, so you assume something else. Today if you tell CBFA has to come and tell what will CBFA do, they will give it in their favor only. Do you want it in their favor? You want it in your favor, no? So will you go and approach CBFA? Obviously no. The person who's going and fighting in the court is you and CBFA only. Will you go and tell CBFA you are fighting with me in the court, you itself define? Avan tapada kuduparapo. Yes or no? Yes. Understand, you are right now the judge. You had been given an opportunity to define something. You tried first finding the definition in the section, not there. Section number 2, not there. General clauses, not there. What will you do as a judge? You cannot come and say leave the case. It has to be settled. You are the judge. Sorry? How? What case loss? Very good. One would be a scenario where he would refer his older precedents. Some other court has defined something, or his predecessors have defined something. Anga papar. You are now only creating fruit act. There is no case loss. Now what to do? How? Huh? For you to sound reasonable, you have to refer something, no? Can you do it out of your head? You need some basic document, some background material which you will refer, no? Can you do it out of your head is my question. No, right? You need a background material. Generally, courts will then move to dictionaries. We have some very famous dictionaries called Black-Scholes Dictionary, Oxford Dictionary and all those things. They will start referring those dictionaries. If the word meaning is given in that dictionary, they will start using that. What is my follow-up question? Rahul, what if it is not in the dictionary also? Can it be possible? Yes, it is possible. In today's world, everything is possible. The kind of abbreviations you people use, no, cannot be defined in dictionaries also. Yes. Suddenly one day you will come and say IYK UK. And I'm like, what is IYK UK? It is if you know, you know. It is IYK, IUK. YK then, correct. Okay, fine. I'm modern, I am. Yes. Randomly one person will suddenly throw at me and come and say IYK UK. And I'm like, hey, what the hell? He's like, if you know, you know. I'm like, that is what I don't know. See, it can happen. I'll give you one example in my practical world. Okay. The example is like this. I'm currently a manager of a person, right? So he's working under me. Now what happened is one of the days he provided a document to me, and in the document mail he wrote FYR. Now you have wrote FII. FII is for your information. Adhe mari there is FIR. I looked at the document, I ignored it and I closed. Okay. Then what happened is due date came, due date lapsed. We did not file it. I went back to him and I said, why did you not file? He said, Rahul, I sent it to you, no, FIR. I'm like, okay, so what? Like FIR means for your review. So I gave it to you for review. You should have come back to me informing me there are some mistakes or it is good to proceed. Since you did not come back, I did not file. I said, I thought FIR means for your reference. Am I wrong? Is he wrong? Is it defined anywhere? What to do? You see, you are stuck. Yes. Now, the problem is company has taken a penalty. Rahul is coming and saying Rahul is not responsible because he thought it is for your reference. Meaning, he is Suma coming and saying, unukku mail potrika na paatruven. He is coming and saying, illa na pottadu for your review. Rahul solittu thiruppi vandha na file panna mudiyum. Rendu per adi vaangitom. Kadasila company is paying penalty. Company will recover from my salary only. No. Now I need to decide whether I should pay the penalty or he should pay the penalty. Who will pay? Correct? No. Now at this point of time, you will come and say, Rahul, let's look at the section. Illa. Let's look at section number 2. Illa. Let's look at general clauses. Illa. Let's look at dictionary. Angyo illa. Ipo enna pannu. Practical example. Superior. Nandanda. why should I take a single rupee also? நானா தப்பு பண்ணேன்? See, if you tell me who's superior, then the problem is superiority can only work in an employer-employee relationship. What if it is two business people? Same thing can happen, no? In two business scenarios, who will come and say, you'll say Ambani is superior or Apple is superior? அதான்டா கோர்ட் will decide on whose side கேக்குறேன். டேய் எப்படி போச்சா காலி தான்டா அப்போ. When you said case laws, it covered them also, technically. I don't think FIR is defined in any case law. Yes. At this point of time, when you have nothing left, we go by something called as customs practice. We learned it in laws. Yes, laws does not have to be defined. It can also be a customary practice. In this case, what will happen is court will then come and say, if at all I throw this FIR in the market, what is the general understanding? If the general understanding comes out as for your reference, Rahul is right. But if it comes out as for your review, Rahul is wrong. Custom practice. In all practical sense, what will happen is courts will then go and do a custom practice. That is how it will work out. Yes, I'll give a very simple thought. We have a definition in income tax called as fees for technical service. What service? Fees for technical service. Meaning, in technical service provide panna unakku fees. Question is, what is technical service? Is it defined in income tax? No. Income tax says fees for technical services means payment made for technical service. Okay. Appa what is technical service? Is it given in section 2? No. Is it given in general clauses? No. Is it given in dictionary? No. Now what to do? You're stuck. Because think about it, technical service can mean anything. Nalik, if I'm engaging you and I'm coming and saying, go take a flyer of Pragya and sell it off in the market. Give it to people. Saying that Pragya is launching November 24 class. For that, I will pay you some 10 rupees per flyer. Question, is it a technical service? No. What is your job in this? To just take the flyer and give it to someone else. Are you putting any technical support? No. But government will come and say, no, in this case, no, this person has put his efforts. Efforts in the sense that if this person does not put efforts, the other person will not take the flyer. So which means he's used his marketing skills. என்ன மார்க்கெட்டிங் ஸ்கில் ஃப்ளையர் கொடுக்கிறதுக்கு தெரியல இருக்கு. உனக்கு என்ன பிரச்சனை? கொடுத்துருக்காங்களா? இல்ல அப்புறம் என்ன? எஸ், கவர்மெண்ட் வில் கம் அண்ட் சே they have used this marketing skills. மார்க்கெட்டிங் ஸ்கில் வச்சுட்டு ஃப்ளையர் கொடுத்துருக்காரு, அதனால தான் அவன் ஃப்ளையர் வாங்கியிருக்காரு. இல்லைன்னா he would have thrown the flyer away. No, that is why this is a technical service. சம்பந்தம் இருக்கா? When nothing is defined, everyone can play. Even you can play, even they can play. That is what the beauty of act is. That is why I told you, when you create an act, let's be clear what we are defining. Right now we are defining India. Yes, now I told you, you want definition of India in section 2. So what I'm going to section 2. Now in this section 2, generally my question is, if you want to define India, will you put it as A itself? Sequence up over? No. To make it more simpler and easier for people to identify which definition you have to look at, generally any act will have definitions in alphabetical orders. That is what the idea is. Illana enna agum, as in when you keep thinking of a definition, if you put A, B, C, D and all, it will become a problem for people to search later. So therefore they put it in alphabetical order. Now I will come first itself. It will not. So what I'll do is, I'll probably put I as India. Now here is where my next thought comes. Understand, whenever you're defining something, you're going to put numbers against it. In section 1, we did 3 things: short title, extent, commencement. 3 different items. You have to put it in an act, you have to put numbering against it. Chronology iruknola. Yes, we put it as section 1, section 2, section 3. Section 1, section 1, 2, section 1, 3. Now read it and tell me how do you read it? Section 1, subsection 2, subsection 1. Great. Now tell me what is section 2. Section 2. This is I, by the way, in case my handwriting is not clear. This is section 2. Subclause. Edutone subclause. What is this? Section 2? Subsection 1 illa. நான் போடவே இல்லையே, நான் போட்டேனா? This is section 2. Hey, try something, ma. You are only creating the law. You itself don't know. It is section 2. Why have you not used subsection? Numbers இல்லனால பிரச்சனை. Okay. I'm going to income tax. And there is something called as section 6. Oh no, maybe the better one is section 10. The better one is section 10. Section 10 is an exemption section. What section? Meaning items which are not going to be taxed are mentioned in section 10. Yes. Now in this they come and say section 10(1) is agriculture income. Pesnola. Did we speak? We told no. Section 10(1) is agriculture income, where we came and said agriculture income earn panna income tax will not levy taxes, state poi levy pannu. So section 10 subsection 1 comes and says it is section 10(1) comes and says it is agriculture income. 1(2) comes and says share of profit from HUF. You know what is HUF? Okay. I don't know if I told this in foundation. I'm telling it now. When I use the word what is HUF, I am not asking for full forms. I very clearly asked you what is HUF. Meaning I want meaning. I don't want full form. Full form enago theriyum. I want what is HUF. Okay. Keep this thought in mind. Going forward, if anyone comes and tells me full forms when I ask you what, anyway, point is 10(1), 10(2). Read it. Section 10. Adukaprom. Section 10. Sub. This is read as section 10, clause 1. This is read as section 10, clause 1. This is also read as section 2, clause I. The above is read as section 1, subsection 1. Section 1, subsection 1. என்ன ராகுல் மாத்தி மாத்தி பேசின்னு இருக்கேன், எனக்கு புரியல. What is the idea? What is the idea? Very good. Very good. Understand, when you use the word subsection, it means it is a sub part of the same section, which means it should be linked to each other. It should be linked to each other. In section 2, when you're defining India, you're also going to define other things. Is India linked to the other thing? Which means, is there a subsection to it? That is why it is called as clause. When I looked at section 10, look at exemptions. I'm saying 10(1) is agriculture, 10(2) is share of profit. Both will happen to same person. Both will happen to same person. Obviously no. Which means these are independent cases. These are independent cases. I'm putting out a list of all the independent cases and coming and saying you, these are all the independent cases, go forward and exempt if it is there. Which means, is 2 linked to 1? Which means it should be clause. Should be clause. Clear? 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 Adhe mari, when we go to section 17, section 17 comes and talks about benefits given to employees. Benefits given to employees. Now, I am telling section 17, 1, 2. The following are the benefits which will be given to employees. The following are the benefits which will be given to employees. Tell me, all benefits relate, all items which are given here are relating to a benefit, linked to each other. Therefore, this should be called as subsection. This should be called as subsection. Yes or no? Yes. Appo, what is the categories, Rahul? You have first thing called as section. Then it is called as subsection, then it is called as clause, then it is called as subclause. Idukaprom there can never be anything else. There can never be anything else. You cannot have anything under subclauses. Not there. Not there. You have to keep it till subclause only. You have to keep it till subclause only. Drafting happens in that way only. If at all you have a problem and you're not able to bring something else, create it as a separate section. But you will never go beyond subclause. You'll never go beyond subclause. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. Now let's come back and define. Let's come back and define. I'm in section 2. I'm in section 2. I'm coming and saying section 2 clause I. Section 2 clause I should define. Should define India. Now There are three ways to define a definition. There are three ways to define a definition. We call them as inclusive definition. Help me out. Exclusive definition. Exhaustive definition. Inclusive definition, exclusive definition, exhaustive definition. Rahul, what is what? What is what? Inclusive means I know a few things. There can be something else also. There can be something else also. If it is something related to this, bring it inside. Bring it inside. Yes or no? Yes or no? Exclusive means everything is covered except for these items. Except for these items. Yes or no? Yes. Rapu, what is exhaustive, Rahul? Exhaustive means நான் சொல்றது தான் ஃபைனல். இது தவிர எதுவுமே வராது. இது தவிர எதுவுமே வராது. Yes, if I tell you something, this is what it is. Meaning, if there is some item beyond this, can you include it? No. No. Example, India is an exhaustive definition. India is an exhaustive definition. They say India means land mass, territorial waters, 200 nautical miles. Now, Rahul, I am doing the service in 201 nautical miles. Will it be a part of India? Can I come and say 1 nautical mile only? No, take it inside. Because it is a exhaustive definition. Exhaustive definition. So now you need to decide whether you want to keep it as an inclusive, exclusive, exhaustive. Yes, I already told you India should be an covered area because I should not cover any other country. So therefore it should be an three ways to write it. If you see the word includes, then it is inclusive. If you see the word excludes, then it is exclusive. If you see the word means, it is exhaustive. It is exhaustive. Background clear? As long as the law is in force, it will not change. We will have to amend the law. We cannot amend it otherwise. We cannot include or exclude something otherwise. You have to amend the law for doing that. Yes, includes, basically what will happen is if something similar comes, then you can take that also inside. Otherwise, you will not be able to do anything else. Okay, everyone? Yes, yes. Now we are going to define India. Now I told you India is already there in something else called as income tax. Income tax also has India, no? Yes, you have two options. You can either define your own India, or you can come and say India is already there in, let's go with income tax. So I can put it very simply to you. I can come and say India means India. Let's complete as per section 2 clause whatever it is of Income Tax Act 1961. Now this is the best way to do it. This is the best way to do it because think about it logically. Think about it logically. If you put a definition of India here and tomorrow, like he said, what happens is China takes over. China takes over. What is the problem with you? The problem is you will now have to go to every act and change it. In this, what will happen? You only have to change India in Income Tax Act. The moment you change in Income Tax Act, it is automatically considered in Fruit Act also. Looks more sensible. Looks more sensible. Yes. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Let's not complicate life. The problem with complicating life happens is there is no harm and doubts in you putting it here also. But the problem is if one small word also is different from your act and Income Tax Act, people will play around then. You miss one S also, no, it is gone case. It is a gone case. CS will come and say, sir, Fruit Act is missing an S. That is not missing an S, which means that is covering everyone. This is covering only this much. We can. One S can also make an impact. Be very careful. Be very careful. Be very cautious about how you define things. Okay. Be smart about it. That is how definitions are made. Clear? Clear? Hello? Yes. So we have done section number 1 and then put one definition in section number 2. Is the act complete? Is the act complete? No. What is missing in this act? Everything is missing only. What have you created this act for? To define what is a fruit. Question comes back once again. Rahul, to define what is a fruit, you want to define it for the whole Fruit Act or for one section? You want to put it in section 2. Above India, below India. So section 2, clause F. Now I am not coming and telling that it should be F. Trust me, that's not the idea. It's not like F na F, adanala abdi illa. I feel it is more simple, so I'm doing it that way. Okay, generally what will happen is it will change, but anyway, என்னடா பிரச்சனை டேய் வர்க்கடா idiot, forget it. Yes, okay, open floor, define fruit. Now is where the question comes. Now you're going to define something. You need to know the characteristics of things for you to define something. Yes, according to you, what should be called as fruit? Quick. As long as I figure this out. Yes. See, you're going to do a definition. You're going to do a definition, which means first of all you have to ask yourself a question. Do you want it to be a inclusive, exclusive, exhaustive? Tell me first, what do you want? Do you want it an inclusive, exclusive, or exhaustive? Sorry? You want to be it exhaustive? If you're going to put it as exhaustive, it means that you will have to, if you want to put it as exhaustive, it means you have to give all the list of fruits. If anything new comes, it is not covered then. You want to make it exhaustive? Let's make it. Okay, great. So I am saying fruit. You said includes. இது பார்த்தா இது ஃப்ரூட் இருக்குன்னா எப்படி கண்டுபிடிப்பீங்க? Should be sweet. ripe இல்லனா fruit இல்ல. Sure. சாப்பிட மாட்டேன் ripe இல்லனா. See, if it is not ripe, will you not eat it, or is it not a fruit itself? No. Listen. I'm confused. I'm asking a simple question. My question is, if, listen. See, here is where the challenge starts. Focus. My question is very simple. If you tell me that a fruit is not ripe, it is not a fruit. Tomorrow you go to a fruit shop and you say, I want an orange juice. Unfortunately, he found a rotten orange and he made a juice out of it. You drank the juice also and you found it is rotten. Will you not call it as a fruit, or will you call it as a rotten fruit? Appo, is it a fruit? Why? It's rotten, but it's still a fruit. No, did the characteristics change just because it is not edible? That's what my question is. See, understand very carefully. Understand it very carefully. If you come and tell me, Rahul, I will call it as fruit only if it is ripe. In that case, what will happen? Tomorrow, if I have to avoid this, I will start putting holes inside every fruit. And I'll come and say, yes, this is not looking ripe to me, therefore it is not a fruit. And I'll start selling it for only 10 rupees. Will you be able to question me? My question is very simple. You are trying to define something as a characteristic. Ripe is not a characteristic. Ripe is an outcome. Think about that. Think about that very carefully. I am looking for characteristics. Yes, madam, on the last.
Sir, need not be able to sell. It can be eaten also. We just define it.
Exactly. Think loud and carefully as to what do you mean by fruit. In the item பார்த்தா இது fruit னு எப்படி கண்டுபிடிக்கிறீங்க? Very good. The basic characteristic which any person has is that a fruit has. Now I know there are people jumping up right now. Rahul, what is eggplant? What is tomato and everything? I know. My point is, generally every fruit will have. Yes or no? Yes. So you can come and say, Rahul, fruit includes any plant, any product சொல்லலாமா, or edible product சொல்லலாமா? Item சொல்லிட்டீங்களா? சரி, okay. Fruit includes any item which has seeds. Definition okay? வரேன், அதுக்கு தான் வரேன். See, you are telling me fruit means any item which has seeds. Definition okay for everyone? Definition okay? I'll put certain questions to you. Tell me whether it's a fruit or not. Not logically as per the act. What is incomplete? What extra do you want to add? Change it. If you want to change it, change it. நீங்க தான் டிராஃப்ட் பண்ணணும். குயிக்கா சேஞ்ச் பண்ணுங்க. Change it ma quickly. Which what fruit includes any item which has seeds and grows on trees. See, I am here to dispute you. You are the one creating the law. Create it perfectly, I will not question. You don't create perfectly, I will question. If you think something is incomplete, fill it off for me quickly. Hey, we are out of time. We are out of time. Quickly, quickly, quickly. Is the definition complete? You want to change? Change it. What do you want to change? Which item do you? What item do you want to change? Item தவிர வேற வேர்ட் சொன்னோம். சரி, சொல்லு. சரி. Okay, that was my question. That was my question. Outcome of a, what is outcome of a plant? Plant la irundhu vandha fruit. See, don't look for complicated words. You start looking for complicated words, my problem will start there only. Then I will come and ask you, what is that word? Adukku or thaniya definition podnom appo. Don't look for complicated words. I'll make it very clear to you. Look for simple words which general clauses will have. If you don't have a general clauses definition, then you are screwed. You have to put another definition for that itself. Keep it simple. Fruit includes any edible. See, it can be rotten. It's okay. It can be rotten. It's still edible. Whether you consume or not is not the question. It's still edible. No, you can eat it. No. My problem is not that you will die out of it. My problem is, can you eat it? Any edible what? Food. Food is a different conversation then. Hey, quick ma, wasting time, quickly. Sure. Hey, close the definition. Any questions? Wait, அப்படியே இருக்குது, இங்க இருக்கு. Go quick. Fruit includes any edible what? It doesn't make sense. Fruit includes any edible which has seeds. Edible produce is a very good word. Nice. Fruit includes any edible produce which has seeds. Makes sense. I'm not using any complicated English also. Simple English I'm using. Produce is a common definition. Yes. So I'm using any edible produce which has seeds. Yes. Yes. Unless removed from the produce, no? If it is removed, it's not a fruit, is it? What? So then you have to make it clear like this. Which naturally grows with seed na podlama? Pineapple has seeds. Now okay. Now okay. Fruit includes any edible produce which naturally has seeds without any human intervention. Now it looks like something complete. Yes. Yes. Any concerns? No concerns. Happy with the definition? Hey, you are the ministry. I am the disputer. Don't dispute me. You have a problem, you change the law. Don't come and dispute it. Where else will it come from? Where else will it come from? Then what? Yes, ma. See, without human intervention is a case where I'm coming and saying that today you produce something and then tomorrow you put seed inside it. You can come and say it is a seed, right? I use this example normally in my previous classes. They never use this word without human intervention. I ask the simple question. Tomorrow you go and kill a hen and make chicken out of it. And make chicken out of it. And then inside the chicken you put some fruits you put. You took a chicken and you put some fruits inside it and you came and said this chicken has fruits now, seeds now. You did it or the fruit had it? So therefore I put without human intervention, meaning I'm coming and saying I should not be the person who's putting inside seeds. It should come naturally. It should come naturally. Makes sense? One second. Also you had a sure. So you did a hybrid fruit. It is, which is where we'll come to the next part. Okay. See, right now, my question is the definition to a certain extent satisfactory? We will have to make adjustments. There is no doubts about it. But is the adjustments right now? How? No, one second. Tell me how. No, so you also eat fruits. No, I don't deny it. My question is very simple. Apdi pata, then we are also eating fruits. Appo are we fruits? So what? Where is human intervention? Nee saaptadnala the human intervention. See, my point is very simple. You have to understand a little bit of science also, right? Eating fruits will not get you seeds, right? Eating fruits, your stomach has hydrochloric acid, will automatically digest the seeds off, right? In all practical sense, you are not growing with seeds. Yes, we have come and said no, which naturally has seeds. It naturally does not have seeds. Right? See, some things can be disputed. I don't deny it. My point is very simple. If you have a problem, you want to dispute, you are the lawmaker, change the law. I am the interpreter here. You are not the interpreter. Don't dispute me. You come and change it if you want. Right? If you cannot change it, then sit silent. Simple. Me, no, I think this is fine. Because without intervention, nanda poten. If I had not put it, then I had a dispute. Nanda poten. Yes. Now my point is very simple. See, right now, definition looks somewhat complete. Definition looks somewhat, I'm not telling it is covering everything, but it looks somewhat complete. Correct? But it still has some missouts. For example, the tomato case. Now you have a problem where tomato is naturally growing seeds. There is no human intervention. And the problem with you is you don't know whether it's a fruit or a vegetable, which is why we brought this act. Yes. Your intention now should be to define what do you want. Now you are the ministry, you can make a choice. You can make a choice whether you want tomato as a fruit or a... If you tell me that you want tomato as a fruit, should I change anything? Because it's already there. Which means now I'm asking you a question. Do you want tomato as a fruit or a vegetable? Everyone, align to it. Don't want to change it. No one. Okay, great. Do you want eggplant as a fruit or a vegetable? You want it as a vegetable? Right now, as per the definition, it is fruit. As per the definition, it is fruit because eggplant has seeds, which means you need to remove it now. Yes or no? Yes or no? My question is very simple. Do you want to change the definition? No. Definition looks clean. Definition, generic level is covering everything which has seeds. You have some one or two small examples which is not to be considered. Yes, which, sorry. Yes. Now, think about it. What you have done is you have defined a proper item, but there are some exceptions to it. How will you put out an exception is the question now. How will you put out an exception to it is what the question now. In general laws, if you have something and you want to put an exception to it, You want to put an exception to it. We now introduce something called as provisos. We now introduce something called as provisos. Provisos is basically an exception to the understanding. An exception to the understanding, which means as per your understanding, eggplant is a fruit. But you have now decided you don't want it as a fruit, which means you want to create an exception to the main rule. Yes or no? Yes. In this case, I will introduce something called as a proviso. I'll introduce something called as a proviso. How do you write a proviso, Rahul? Proviso is written in the first instance as provided. As the moment I use the word provided, it means it is an exception. It means it is an exception. Assuming I want to give a second exception. I want to give a second exception. This time I will use provided further. Already one exception, second exception I am bringing. If I want to use the third proviso, I will now use provided also. These are the three stages of proviso. Rahul, idhukku mela kuda or proviso potnona, tirpi provided also da. Tirpi provided also da. Three stages of proviso. Three stages of proviso. This will help me now create an exception to the rule. This will now help me create an exception to the rule. What exception do I want? I'll come to that. I'll come to that. Yes. Now I want to create an exception. I want to create an exception. I am telling Rahul, let's make an exception. What is the exception with you? You want to tell eggplant is not a fruit. Yes. So let's put an exception where I come and say provided that what? Any product, don't call it as vegetable. If you call it as vegetable, you have to define this vegetable. Any product which is commonly referred to as, and I'm very carefully using the word commonly referred. Now you can come and say me, Rahul, you can create hybrid and everything. That's a different story. When I'm saying commonly used, it means commonly this item should be referred to as eggplant. If it is commonly referred, then I'm considering it. If it is not commonly referred, don't come and question. So I'm saying any product which is commonly referred as what? As eggplant should be termed as, or should not be referred to as, should not be referred to as fruit. Now read it carefully. What am I saying? Fruit means this, provided if you refer something as eggplant, it is not a fruit. Makes sense. Have you put an exception clearly? Yes. You've put an exception clearly. Now if someone reads the law, someone will come and say, Rahul, if you see eggplant, it should not be a fruit. If you see pineapples, it is a fruit. If you see apples, it is a fruit. Clear? Not clear? Clear? Yes. If I had some more exceptions, I would have said provided further. Third exception, I would have put provided also. Now my question is, Rahul, is provided superior or fruit superior definition? Is the definition superior or provided superior? The provided superior. If you tell me that the definition is superior, then you come and say, what is the point of this provided? Because definition pragara, eggplant is a fruit. Provided pragara, the eggplant is not a fruit. So which is superior now? Provided becomes superior. Provided becomes superior. Background clear? Yes. Any doubts? Any doubts? Now the problem is here. The problem is here. You're coming and saying, Rahul, any item which is referred to as eggplant is not a fruit. Appa, what is it? What is it? It is a vegetable. Yes or no? But you have to tell that also first. If you say not a fruit, now what is it then? Yes. So which means I need to also now define what is. Again, it will go to section 2. Again, it will go to section 2. I am now putting a definition of vegetable as 2V. I am now putting a definition as 2V. Now, there are two ways to define this. The easy way, the complicated way. The complicated way is you come and say vegetable again. Ask yourself includes, excludes, exhaustive, and give a definition of vegetable. The problem with that, what will happen is, if you give a exhaustive definition or an inclusive definition, If you find a product which is not a fruit or a vegetable, it is gone. Yes or no? My general understanding with you is, if I tell something is not a fruit, it should automatically become a. So which means whatever is not a fruit is a. In this case, best definition to put is a exclusive definition. Best way to put it as an exclusive definition, but here I'll put a merger of both. I'll come and say vegetable means, it's an exhaustive list. Vegetable means any product not covered under section 2 F above of the act. Any product not covered under 2F of the act. Makes sense? Makes sense. Yes. So I am coming and saying, Rahul, if it is not there in 2F, then it is a vegetable. Then it is a vegetable. Happy with the definition? Happy with the definition? Sure. Sure. Question. Read the act. Tell me, where does chicken fall? It falls into F. It falls into V. Why? Because you have used the word product. You have used the word product. The moment you use the word product, if it is now a chicken, it automatically falls into vegetable. Do you want it to be a vegetable? Do you want it to be a vegetable? Your choice, you only are drafting the law. I am not drafting. If you say me yes, I leave it here itself. Yes? No? You don't want it? Don't want it? Now, here again, you can come and put a proviso. But the problem is, it's already a negative definition. You negative put a fruit la poidum. Correct? If you put a proviso to a negative definition, what will happen? It will become a fruit definition then. I don't want that. I want to simply clarify that what I've told for fruit is right. But I don't want some items to be a part of it. I don't want some items to be a part of it. Which means I want to clarify something. Correct? Not correct? Hello. I want to clarify something. What do I want to clarify? I want to clarify the word which is product. So I can come and put something called as explanations. I can put something called as explanation. Now what is this? I am coming and saying, Rahul, definition of vegetable looks pakka. There is no problem. There is no problem. The only problem is there is a word called product which is causing the problem. Let's limit the scope of product. Yes or no? Yes. So I can come and say explanation for the purpose of this clause. For the purpose of this clause. Product only includes plant-based produce, whether grown naturally or in a approved laboratory. Now, since I am using the word approved, there is where the concern will come. But now the explanation makes sense. Yes. Now you have come and told, Rahul, when I am using the word product, I should only use the word product as a plant-based item. Which means now if I look at chicken, will it fall here? No. Because it is not there in product. It is not there in product. Follow-up question. Follow-up question. Rahul, is section definition superior or explanation superior? Is definition superior or explanation superior? The definition is superior. The definition is superior. Explanation cannot be superior than this. Explanation is doing what? It is just clarifying things. It is just clarifying things. If you come and say, Rahul, explanation, in the top you come and say that left means right. And in explanation you come and say left also includes northwest. Can it include northwest? No. It's a clarifying provision. What is not there itself cannot be brought inside. Yes, explanation, if it has something more than what the scope of the definition is, it will again become ultra vires. It will again become ultra vires and will automatically become void ab initio. Will automatically become void ab initio, which means every time you draft something, the sequence is like this. The first top item is proviso, then it is the section or subsection or clause or subclause, whatever it is, followed by the explanations. Followed by the explanations. Making sense? Hello? Yes. Yes. These are a few things which you need to keep in mind when you create your law. When you create a law. Now you will come and ask me, Rahul, why are you wasting so much time? Understand, when you start reading, you will see explanations, you will see provisos, you will see definitions, you will see section 2, clause 5, clause 7, section 1, clause 1, clause 2. அப்போ என்ன பேசுறாங்கன்னு ஒன்னும் தெரியலனா it will be very ugly. Best do it right now. Best do it right now. Yes, I know this is a little tedious task. I know it is painful for you to sit and not read the subject and waste time on something else, but it is helping you improve your knowledge. Yes or no? Yes, now you have a clear clarity on when you read something, how should you read something. Yes, yes, yes. Keep that thought in mind. Keep that thought in mind. I know this is painful, but it is a good exercise. It is a good exercise. At least now if you have done it, future never you will have this problem where someone comes and asks and you will be able to dispute it. Correct? Correct? That alone is a thought. Yes. By the way, just to clarify, we have only completed section number 2. At the end of the day, you have put all your thoughts, but you have still not produced your intention of the section. You have still not produced your intention of the section. Yes or no? What is the whole intention behind creating the sections? You wanted to clarify someone whether it is a fruit or not. Now you defined what is a fruit, but you need to put that charge somewhere. No, the section somewhere, act somewhere has to come and say that yes, going forward, read this act and come and tell it is a fruit. Yes or no? Yes, that is the power section. Yes, that section will hold validity for the whole act. Agreed, not agreed? Yes, that power section will be called as charging section. That power section will be called as charging section. In any act, there will be one charging section. There will be one charging section which will come and tell you why this act and what is this act. Why this act and what is this act. That will be called as the charging section. That will be called as a charging section. Now I don't have anything else, so therefore my charging section will be section number section number 3. Section number 3. Yes, so I've already completed. I'm leaving some space purposely because I know there are few things which is supposed to come. As then when you keep defining it, the section will keep changing. So I'm creating something right now. I'm coming and saying section number 3. Now every time you create a section, you have to also put a heading. You have to also put a heading. A summarized heading is required. Think about a heading. What are you going to do in this section? You're going to clarify that going forward, read this act for calling something as a fruit or a vegetable. Yes or no? Yes. So the heading should be something like charge of fruit. Charge of fruit, or you can come and call it as scope of fruit. It's your choice. It's your choice. Is this heading important, Rahul? No. But sometimes what happens is when the sections are unclear, sometimes they use heading as a reference point to understand what is the intention behind the section also. So that is why it is there. That is why it is there. Question to you. Section 3 will have all linked items, unlinked items. Linked items. Therefore, I should start with subsection. I should start with subsection. Normally, subsections will start with 1, 2 numerals. Clause has no conditions. Clause can start with numbers also, can start with letters also, can start with Roman numerals also. There is no condition. Yes, subclause also same way. Subclause also same way. It can work in any fancies. Subsection alone will start with a 1. Subsection alone will start with a 1. What do you want to write? What is the intention behind the section? Why are you introducing this act? To identify a fruit. So something like this should come. So you can come and say probably English. Probably you can start with an English coming and saying from the date of the act coming into force. Fruit and vegetable will be governed by whatever the spelling is by this act. So I am coming and saying from the date on which the act comes into force. In email, if you want to find out what is a fruit and what is vegetable, this act will come and tell. I don't have to tell that it's there in section 2. It is understood because it is there in section 2. It is there only. It is applicable to the whole act, so I don't have to clarify that it's there in section 2. Agreed? Yes. So I'm simply coming and saying from the date on which the act comes into force, the governing provision to define whether it's a fruit or vegetable comes into fruit act, and I'm very clearly clarifying vegetable also, because I don't want chicken and all to be come and discussed here. That's not my scope, because the moment I define vegetable, I also came and said product does not include any animal based products. So therefore, if anyone wants to understand whether chicken is a part of this act, I came and said going forward itself, don't look at it, because section 3 itself does not have it. Section 3 itself does not have it. Don't come and ask me questions about whether what will happen to chicken, lamb, all animal based products. It's not a scope of my contract itself, because my ministry is Ministry of Agriculture. My ministry is Ministry of Agriculture. I am not interested about poultry farmings. That's not my scope itself. Talk to some other ministry for it. Makes sense? Makes sense. Yes. Now I have come and told this act will come and tell you what is a fruit and vegetable. Okay, great. Is that the only thing you wanted from this act? Is that the only thing you wanted? You just wanted to clarify what is a fruit and what is a vegetable? Because if you wanted to do that, you could have done it in general clauses also. Should be something else. Is the predominant issue which you have right now the only that where you don't know what is a fruit and what is a vegetable, or do you have some other concerns also? Could be anything. Could be anything. Like I gave an example. No? If it is a fruit, I want you to sell it for only 10 rupees. And if it is a vegetable, I want to sell it for any price. So I need to give that also. Maybe that is one issue. Farmers would have come to me and said, fruits and all people are not buying so much. Vegetables, everyone is buying. So give me a minimum price. Possible, not possible? Possible? Yes. Now I have told in section number 3 what is a fruit and what is a vegetable. But in section number 4, I'm going to start telling what do I want from this act. What do I want from this act? Probably in section number 4, I'll come and say MSP. MSPs? If you come and use the short form, you will have to define it in section number 2. You cannot use it. I'm using it. You cannot use it. You will have to define it in section number 2 if you want to use a short form. Yes. But I'm saying MSP of fruits. Probably a heading. And I'm coming and saying any fruit hereby sold by a person. Correct? No? Any fruit hereby sold by a person should be sold not less than a price determined. Hey, who will determine? You only will determine, or you are only the ministry. Yes. My question is, Rahul, can you define everything in the act itself? Do you want one rate which should apply for every 50 years? Or do you want the rate to be changing? Who should do it then? Who should do it then? Act should do it or rule should do it? Who should do it? Act should do it or rule should do it? So therefore you will come and say, should be sold not less than a price determined by the appropriate board. Yes or no? The moment I said by appropriate board, who is the board? You are the board. What will you do? You'll tomorrow launch something called as fruit rules. You launch something called as fruit rules. Now in that rules you will start defining, yes, if it's apple should be sold for 20 rupees. If it is vegetable should be sold for 50 rupees. If it is something should be sold for this price. If it is something it should be sold for this price. The benefit of you doing it in a rule and not in an act is that act needs changes. It has to go through the whole parliament cycle. If a rule needs changes, who is deciding it? You are deciding it. It can happen spontaneously. It can happen spontaneously. The approval process for you is faster than what it is for me. Because I have to go through the whole Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, Parliament, everything. You don't have to do all that. You can change it today, decide tomorrow. That's all. Yes or no? Yes or no? Which is better? Do you want the price to be more changing or more static? More changing. In that case, power should be with you people. Power should be with you people. So you are the central board of fruit, whatever we do, fruit affairs. Central board of fruit affairs. So I'm giving you the power now. What will you do? You will create fruit rules. In that fruit rules, you will come and say, as per section 4, the minimum price set for products is defined in schedule number 1. Then you'll go to schedule number 1 and come and put out the list of the fruits and come and say, this is what the price is. Make sense? Make sense? Any challenges? No challenges? All clear? Yes, yes. I have come and said, any fruit hereby sold by a person shall be sold not less than a price determined by an appropriate board. Any concerns? Is the definition clear? Yes, yes. My question to you is like this. tomorrow what is happening is sales is happening by a robot. Sales is happening by a robot. Covered, not covered. Sale is happening by a company. Covered, not covered. Sale is happening by BJP Congress party. Covered, not covered. How did you decide? Did you define person? The moment I use the word person, now you have stuck because you don't know what does person mean. Person can mean individual, can mean HUF, can mean AOP, can mean BOI, can mean local authorities, can mean company, can also mean firms. Can be anyone. Can be anyone. Yes or no? Yes. Person is also to be defined. Yes. Never leave something blank. You leave something blank, that will become a problem. That will become a problem. Get my facts. Get my facts. Anything else? Everything else is defined properly. No doubts? Hello? All clear? Everything else is pakka. There is no definition required. Huh? 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 I'm giving you an example. Imagine an example. I have an apple. I'm the person who manufactures apple. There is another person who manufactures a banana. There's another person who manufactures a banana. I went to him and I came and said, do one thing. You give me your bananas. I will give you apples. I'll give you apples. Now I put a condition saying for every 2 apples which I give, you have to give me 10 bananas. For every 2 apples which I give, you have to give me 10 bananas. He is not happy. He's not happy. He's coming and saying, no. The schedule comes and says, if at all I do that computation on the scheduler, the computation, I can only give you 1 apple for 10 bananas. Sorry, you have to give me 5 apples for 10 bananas. You have to give me 5 apples for 10 bananas. I'm saying get lost. If you wanted, you take it for 2 apples or else get lost. Or else get lost. He's like, sir, get lost and all cannot work out because act is coming and saying you have to follow. Act is coming and saying you have to. I'm saying act is not replicable to me. Act is not applicable to me. Why? Because it's Rahul, is it? I'm saying act is not applicable because understand, in this transaction, what have you done? Have you done a sale? What have you done? You've done an exchange. I gave you something, you gave me something. And you put the definition as, is it covered? Is it covered? Not covered. Which means this act will apply. No. What to do? Huh? Traded or sold or okay, great. I came and said I have 1 dozen apples. Okay, hypothetical example. The schedule is coming and saying 1 dozen apples should be sold for 1 lakh rupees. Hypothetical examples. Yes, I went and I said, if I give it, you have to give me 1 lakh rupees. I went and I said, I don't want 1 lakh rupees. I am not ready to give you 1 lakh rupees, but I want a way out. I want a way out because the act is coming and saying, what I did is I said, do one thing, give me a loan. Do what? Give me a loan. Give me a loan of 60,000 rupees. Against the 60,000 rupees, I'll put my apples as collateral. I'll put my apples as collateral. You get my facts? Get my facts? I gave you 60,000 rupees for putting your apple as collateral with the promise that if you don't pay me the 60,000 rupees back, I will take back your apples. I did not pay 60,000 rupees obviously, and therefore he took my apples. Question: I gave him the apples for 60,000. Can he dispute? Can he dispute? No, because it is not sale. Neither it is a. This is an hypothecation. This is an hypothecation. Collateral damage. Yes or no? Yes or no? Now tell me. Now is the act covering it? Trust me, this is not my definition. This is not my definition. Same wordings is there in income tax. Same wordings is there in income tax. You have a very beautiful chapter in income tax called as capital gains. Called as capital gains, which comes and says if you do a transfer, if you do a sale of a capital asset, it is taxable as income. People said, okay, sale only, no. Which means if I do an exchange, no tax. And then they came and said, no, sale plus exchange. I said, okay, then I will hypothecate, no tax. He said, sir, sale, exchange, hypothecation. I'm like, okay, I will extinguish my rights. No tax. Sale, exchange, hypothecation, extinguishment. I came and said, sir, you told you will collect tax on my capital asset. I will convert my asset into stock in trade. I will convert my asset into stock in trade, then sell it to you. Now it is not capital gains. Sorry, sir. Sale, exchange, hypothecation, extinguishment, conversion. Okay. I went to him and I came and said, sir, I was running a land. Politicians came to my place and came and took over my land. Came and took over my land. They did not give me an authority itself, sir. They took over my land and they came and said, here, 1 lakh rupees for you, keep it. I wanted 10 lakhs from him. He only paid me 1 lakh. Capital gains, sir. No, because it is not a sale. Sale requires you to have a mutual consent. It is not an exchange. It is not an extinguishment. It is not an hypothecation. It is not even a conversion. Ipo poduvingla tax. Tenjada. Problem can start with the smallest of the wordings. And we'll do it. When we do capital gains, I'll tell you that background once again. Yes, problem is small word of sales can also make an impact. Small word of sales can also make an impact. Income tax at one point of time got fed up and they started using the word transfer. They started using the word. Now they said if you transfer the fruit, it is a minimum tax. Transfer means everything. Transfer means everything. See, income tax has also evolved. Yes, you also have to evolve. You also have to evolve. The smallest of the words can make an impact for you. The smallest of the words can make an impact for you. Now read it. Now read it. I have to make this as transferred. Now read it. It says any fruit hereby transferred by a person should be transferred not less than a price determined by an appropriate board. Determined by an appropriate board. Makes sense. Makes sense. Can we conclude this? Now I'm tired. Yes, let's conclude this act. Let's conclude this act. I'll ask a simple question. You came and said you wanted to know what is a fruit. You wanted to know at what price should you sell. Now, every time when you sell, you want to sell it only at this price. There can be some scenarios where you have to sell it for lower prices also, like natural calamities and all. Possible, no? Today there is a natural calamity which has happened. You're helping people. Yes, you're helping people and you're telling that because there is a natural calamity, no problem, I'll sell it for 5 rupees. But this act is coming and saying if you sell it for anything more than less than 50 rupees, you are liable for penalty. It will become a problem. I have to give some opportunity to someone. Yes, if you read the act comes and says if you do it, it's wrong. Yes or no? Yes or no? So I need to give someone an opportunity to change the law also. Agreed? Agreed? Yes. I will now introduce something called as section number 5. And come and say non-applicability in exceptional cases. Non-applicability in exceptional cases. What am I trying to do here? I'm trying to come and say, boss, section 4 is applicable. Section 4 is applicable, but there can be some scenarios where I don't want section 4 to apply. Which means section 5 should be bigger than section 4 or should be smaller than section 4? Should be bigger. Yes or no? Which means section 5 should be superior or section 4 should be superior? Section 5 should be superior. Anyone reads it should come and understand that yes, section 5 is superior than section 4. Agreed? Agreed. Now I need to clarify that somewhere. In laws, we call it as non-obstante clause. We call it as non-obstante clause. Non-obstante meaning and coming and saying that if you put a non-obstante somewhere, it means that thing becomes superior. That thing becomes superior. How do you write it? You write it by saying notwithstanding. இது பார்த்திருப்பீங்க எங்கேயோ கான்ட்ராக்ட் ஆக்ட்ல இருக்கும். Notwithstanding anything, very good, anything contained in section 4. The moment I start like this, I am automatically coming and telling someone yes, 5 is superior. Forget what is there in 4, 5 is superior. Now I can write whatever I want. I can come and say notwithstanding anything contained in section 4 in exceptional scenarios as may be determined by the appropriate board. The price can be also sold at a lower than the determined price. Now who will decide? Appropriate board will decide. Meaning every time there is a problem like this, you can go and make an application to appropriate board and come and inform them that sir, I want to sell it at a lower price. Now act will only come and tell to make an application. Rules will now come and tell how to make the application. Rules will come and say how to make the application. So in rules now you have to do two things. One, put the MSP. Second, also come and give an opportunity for someone to make an application. Clear? Clear? Yes, act is looking complete now. Act is looking complete now. Kind of looking complete. There is one small thing still pending. Think about it. You are telling in section 4 that you should not sell it at a price lower than the MSP. As a normal Indian, I will ask you a simple question. நான் பண்ணிட்டா என்ன பண்ண போற? நீ எனக்கு சொன்ன பண்ணக்கூடாது, சரி நான் பண்ணிட்டேன், என்ன பண்ண போற? Common question. Yes, they come and tell you that you should wear a helmet. You are never interested to wear a helmet. You will always come and ask, பண்ணலன்னு என்ன ஆக போகுது? Yes or no? Yes, which means every time you create an act, something should be telling you the enforcing power also. You need to give someone a power to do something, because if you don't put that power, you will come and say, yeah, you told me to sell it, I am not interested. What is the big deal? You have to put something. What is that something? Penalty. What is that something? Penalty. So you have to also have a penalty clause. Hello. Yes. So I am going to introduce the last clause, which is section number 6. Section number 6, where I am going to say penalty. And here I will come and say, in case of violation of section 4. Rahul, do I have to do section 5 here? Do I have to do section 5 here? No. Why? Because I told boss, even if section 4 is violated, section 5 is superior. So if I am satisfying section 5, automatically penalty will not come. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? So I am coming and saying, in case of violation of section 4, in case of violation of section 4, he shall be, he da potan, paraliya, because general clauses, he shall be levied a penalty, number, நீங்க தான் தட்டணும், 10,000 per sale per year per violation. Okay, penalty ranging from 10,000 fixed number illa range seri, ranging up to rupees 10,000 per default issue, per default. Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. This is how I will be concluding an act. Yes, I will have to put section number 7 also, where I have to come and say that for the purpose of this act, CBFA is my appropriate body. That also I'll have to come and clarify. If I do that in section 7, I'll come and say, for the purpose of this act, CBFA has been notified as my appropriate body and will act within the powers of this act. Thereby clarifying that CBFA cannot do anything beyond what I say. Clear? Yes. Now it looks like a complete act. Yes. You understand what we spoke about? Yes. This is how an act is drafted. Logic remains the same in any act for that matter. Including income tax. I'm giving you this background right now because going forward there is no more background. We'll start with the section. We'll straightforward ask section number 3, section number 4, subclause 1 அவ்வளவுதான். அதில் ஒரு ப்ரொவைஸோ வரும், ஒரு நாட் வித்ஸ்டாண்டிங் வரும், ஒரு எக்ஸ்பிளனேஷன் வரும். அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்டிங் would be that you already know KNOW, NO இல்லை, you already KNOW. Yes, logic's clear. Now it looks like you know foundation law. Maybe. Yes, you have done the same things in foundation. There's nothing different. You have learned contract act, you have learned what is notwithstanding, you have learned what is proviso, you have learned what is case law, you have learned sections, subsections, clause, everything, but you still don't know why. Here is the why. Think about it. For you to create this was so painful. We have only created 7 sections. அதுக்கே மூச்சு வாங்கிட்டீங்க. Yes or no? Income tax has 540 sections. Not everything is applicable for syllabus, ஆனா இருக்கு. Income tax almost has about 540 sections. Rahul, 540 பார்த்தா இல்லையே. Actually there are 298 sections. But still there are 500 sections. அது எப்படி? Point is very simple. இனிஷியலி கிரியேட் பண்ணும்போது 298 போட்டிருப்பாங்க, கடைசியில் அமெண்ட்மெண்ட்ஸ் வந்திருக்கும். அந்த அமெண்ட்மெண்ட்ஸ் போடுறதுக்கு என்ன பண்ணும்? ஆப்வியஸ்லி நம்பர் மாறாம 299க்கு அப்புறம் மாற முடியாது, பிகாஸ் 299 இஸ் மை ரூல்ஸ். ஸோ ஐ ஹவ் டு புட் இட் சம்வேர் லிங்க்டு டு ஈச் அதர். ஏன்னா ஒரு சீக்வன்ஸ் இருக்கணும். ஸோ வாட் வில் ஹேப்பன்? செக்ஷன் 194, then 194A, then 194B, then BB, then C, then D, then E, then F, அப்படியே போயிட்டே இருக்கும். நான் தான் சொன்னேன்ல நேற்று TDSல அப்படி தான் போகும். That is how it is. That is how it is. All amendments, if you see a section which is not a number and it also has a letter in the section, it means it is an subsequent brought in change. It is an subsequent brought in change. The same thing you will see in sections also. Section 6 is subsection 1 இருக்கும், அதுக்கப்புறம் section 6 subsection 1 இருக்கும். எதுக்கு 1? It means முன்னாடி இல்லை, இப்போதான் கொண்டு வந்திருக்காங்க. So every time you see something which is not already there, it means it is a thought through process which has come later on after people found out the mistakes. After people found out the mistakes. Purida. Yes, this is your whole drafting of an act. So what happens is, if you go to an income tax portal, right, and whenever there is an addition happening to it, there will be a footnote to it. If you click on that hyperlink of the footnote, it will come and clarify when it was introduced. That will be done. You cannot put it in the act itself, because then it will be, you look about 1961 case laws and all. Today, if you put everything in that same act itself, it will become very complicated to read. You need a clean act. So you have a clean act, but you'll have hyperlinks against it. You click on the hyperlink, the bottom line will come and say you when and what changes happen. That you can find. That's definitely possible. Yes. If not, then you can subscribe to some channels like Taxman. In Taxman, what will happen is, every time you have a section, you click on the section, they'll come and tell you what is the journey of it, which finance act changes happen, what changes happen. You can see the whole journey. Too much of a process to understand and analyze. Not something which I would recommend, at least at inter level for some. Maybe final level, yes, we can definitely do it, but inter level, this is what it is. Yes, I wanted to give this background to you right now, because my book, please understand, 190 pages cannot be made if I put it in the proper drafting law format. If I do that, then this book is 100% not coming in 190 pages. 190 pages is made because this is given in simple English. It is given in simple English. If I have to really copy paste your whole ICI study material, then the fun is gone already. Yes, that is why I spent so much time this first 2 days, because I wanted to give you a taste of how ICI material looks like. This is how it looked like. This is the easy version of it, by the way. Yes, I will show you. As we do the classes, you will see what the complicated version of ICI is. Then I will show you what happens in my book. My point is very simple. My book will have the concise English of it. Yes, you will read the concise English along with me in order to understand the law properly. But when you write it in the exam, I am not expecting you to mug up and vomit what ICI is saying. I want you to enhance the English a little bit. Yes, like some English I'm using. See, in case of violation of section 4, he shall be levied a penalty ranging. Ranging and all is not a word you commonly use. Yes, but you get over it. You get over it. So some proper English, if you can make sense, ICI is happy with that. ICI does not want you to vomit and copy paste the same provisions, but they want a little bit of good English. Yes, don't try your WhatsApp English. Doesn't work out here. Doesn't work out here. We will do, as we complete 2 chapters, you will have a test coming in, and that time I'll tell you what kind of English you people use. Yes, avoid those things. Let's come to a position where, yes, we are now able to come and tell people that we have a certain amount of English that we know. We are giving it to you. No one is expecting Shakespeare English. No one is expecting Shakespeare level English. No one knows also, no one cares also. If you try too much English also, they will fail you. He will assume that you are writing stories. Simple English, but sensible English. It should not be local level. Not be local level. I am doing this because I am doing this. Okay, should look like third person language, should look like proper English. As we progress in the classes, I will tell you how an English can make sense. We will write those things and all. My point is, don't worry about reading simple English. It is enough for you. It is enough for you. Don't get frightened about the fact that ICI material has proviso, subclause, adukku or clause, adukku explanation or subclause. Those things are there. It can be concised into simple English. That is what I have done. Should suffice for your exams. Definitely. Yes, I wanted to give you this background right away so that you know, if tomorrow you read from it, it should not look foreign English to you. Clear? Yes, law is making sense now. Law is making sense now. Yes, today's class done. Background over. Foundation mudinjichu. Tomorrow's class, we will take a little step further. Konja foundation is pending. The pending part is, neenga act create pannittinga. Ana act ku or chapa varanolla. Naalukku chapa poduvom. Yes, we will try to understand how does this act become legal. Because right now it is between you people and me. You are still the ministry, you are still not the parliament. So எப்படி இது பார்லிமெண்ட்க்கு போகும், எப்படி சாப்பா வரும் is what we'll discuss tomorrow. And then we'll jump to the subject. Word of caution. My intention was very simple. We wanted to just define what is a fruit. Irundalo we took 3 hours. Same thing will happen in income tax. In income tax, you have one charging section number 4. It has 2 lines. That's all. It only has 2 lines. We are going to discuss the 2 lines for the next 1 full week. I'm making it very clear right away to you. Yes, you understood when you drafted a law how difficult it is. Now we need to understand how income tax drafted the law and what challenges they faced, right? So the 2 lines which we have in that section number 4 will be discussed for the next 1 whole week. It's important. If you don't understand, by the way, if you complete that 1 full week, chapter number 1 is over. Okay, chapter number 1 is nothing but the 2 lines converted into 6 pages. Seriya? Yes, so next 1 full week we are going to discuss about the 2 lines, make it into the 6 pages, complete chapter number 1, and then move to the more exciting tax computation and sum solving chapters, which is chapter number 2. Chapter number 2 will be more exciting. Chapter number 1 theory pora varaikum, yes, you will have the same kind of dull face irukum. Supposed to happen. I cannot help it. I can jump you to the chapters, but you will not understand anything. So to give you the background, this is first important. Next 1 week, patiently learn things. Nothing has to be read for exam. None of this is coming for exam. Ippe solidran. But it is important because if you don't know this, you cannot know that. Seriya? Yes. Keeping that in mind is what you have to come for the class. I know it's a pain. Trust me, you have not started the least of it. My subject is also practical. You have other subjects coming in exam. You have subjects like audit. You have subjects like FML, SM. When you see those 2 subjects, you will realize Rahul is talking better. If you think Rahul, this is itself bad, that is very different. அங்க வேற பண்ணா போகும். சப்ஜெக்ட் அப்படி தான் இருக்கு. இங்க ஆச்சு கொஞ்சம் சம்ஸ் இருக்கு, கடைசியில் ஆச்சு வரும். அங்க ஒண்ணுமே வராது. அவன் ஆரம்பிச்சது ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கிளாஸோட பேச லாஸ்ட் கிளாஸ் வரைக்கும் அப்படிதான் போகும். நீங்க ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கிளாஸ் உட்காரது மூட அந்த லாஸ்ட் கிளாஸ் வரைக்கும் தான் போகும். அப்படிதான் போகும். Some subjects are like that. You have to prepare for it accordingly. There is no options. பாஸ் ஆகணும்னா பண்ணி தான் ஆகணும், வேற வழி இல்லை. Yes, which is why I always tell people theory is pathetic, is boring, but it has logics behind it. Rather than mugging up theory, understand the why, things will become more interesting. Today's class, it was theory, but it was interesting. Question mark. Yes sir. No, மட்டும் வந்துச்சுன்னு வச்சுக்கோ. It was at least to me. நீங்க பாத்துக்கோங்க. Point is, yes, you did learn something. Tell me you did not learn something. You learn things. That is enough for me. I'm not here to please your excitement. I'm here to teach you things which you don't know. So that is what I've done, and I think this is justified enough. Next class we'll get into more specifics. Now we will start subjects. Again, 1 week. Don't expect much of subject, much of theory only. But it'll be fun. I'll try all those funs. Yes, let's come back and we'll do it properly. Last question. நாளைக்கு வருவீங்களா? சரி, okay. Thank you people. Have a good day.